I mean, you felt connected with him. I mean, we didn't know him, but I mean, you felt like you knew him. I'm following his story. The one thing I remember is the Utah Jazz game. I mean, those air balls and the bounce back from that and to become what he became. You know, it's inspirational. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, that is what we are hearing over and over and over again here in the streets just outside the Staples Center, is that Kobe Bryant was an inspiration and he remains an inspiration to so many people. And again, a lot of folks do have tickets. Thousands are making their way to Staples Center. And the folks that don't, they are trying to find a restaurant. They are still trying to be close, but officials are asking people, if they do not have a ticket, just stay away from this area. They don't want you to negatively impact the community here in downtown Los Angeles. Lots of traffic, so try and stay at home and watch the celebration of life from there. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Darcia, thank you. Yeah, the restaurants here at LA Live are closed for right now because they don't want any people in, but the pantry is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
And I want to share with you this. We're just getting some pictures inside. These are the first pictures from inside Staples Center of the celebration. We do have those. Let's go to those if we can. We're going to watch them with you for the first time. We're just seeing this as well. We understand from Michael Brownlee, who's inside, he texted us that they are giving away a booklet, a program with pictures of Gianna and Kobe, Gigi and Kobe. There are also T-shirts with that beautiful symbol, the 2 and the
24, and then the infinity symbol, and they're giving away lapel pins as well. Everybody that enters will receive one of those. It's our coverage of the celebration of life for Kobe, Gianna, and the 7 others continues.
Lease F-150 for only $299 per month, or drive home with $7,500 total cash at your Southern California Ford dealers.
The Tonight Show on NBC4 is sponsored locally by Auto Club Speedway.
You can't unsee that.
And it's surprisingly sexy. It's like a cold pigeon.
The Tonight Show on NBC4 is sponsored locally by Auto Club 400, NASCAR's only stop in Southern California on March 1st.
Performance meets efficiency in the 2020 Nissan Altima, featuring the world's first BC turbo engine that can adapt in an instant to give you power when you want it and fuel efficiency when you need it. This is the 2020 Nissan Altima with BC Turbo, one of Ward's 10 best engines. Get a low $199 per month lease or get 0% financing for 36 months on the 2020 Altima.
Life doesn't give you many second chances, but a Subaru can.
You guys okay?
Eyesight with pre-collision braking. Standard on the Subaru Ascent. The 3-row Subaru Ascent. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Visit your local Southern California Subaru retailer for a test drive today.
Welcome home to a world of luxurious custom fabrics and hand-polished exotic woods. Welcome to almost 90 years of American craftsmanship and a world-class design team offering you complimentary services. Welcome to modern, to classic, to elegant, and welcome to affordable. Ethan Allen, we make the American home.
To be a great explorer, you need to be ready for everything and anything. You need the all-new 2020 Ford Explorer.
Lease an Explorer for $279 per month, or get 0% financing for 60 months plus $3,500 bonus cash.
Just like a dream come true.
Bryant to shot! And the Lakers are the 2000 NBA champions.
81-point game. The LA Lakers, the 2010 NBA champions.
What can I say? Mamba.
And so many of those incredible moments occurred in downtown Los Angeles. Here's a live look at Staples Center. We're about a half hour away now from the memorial to Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. Colleen?
The other thing we're noticing is people are still streaming in, but they've picked up the pace that from an hour ago. People are actually running down Chick-Hearn Court here trying to get in.
They got in late. So people got in a little later than they thought, and they said, you need to be in your seat at 9:45. And Colleen said during the break, look, and I turned around, and people are now running to get in by 9:45 because they want to start as close to 10 o'clock as they can.
Back here live with our continuing coverage of the celebration of life for Kobe and Gianna. As we said, teammates arriving, celebrities, dignitaries. They seem to be coming in from a different entrance. The fans came in off Figueroa. They're coming in towards the parking garage here. Now, some of us remember that Kobe tried his talents, remember this, on the microphone back in the late 90s. He released a couple of rap songs, remember that?
Yep.
That was the one thing he was not that successful at, but throughout his music career, you know, he did go back to that, and you could tell he had sort of that zest, that love for life. That's where he met his wife, Vanessa, while she was shooting a music video. And of course, as we know now, the rest is history. This was the day they met, November 27th, 1999. Vanessa Bryant shared this picture on Instagram a few months ago to celebrate 20 years together. At the time, Kobe was a hotshot basketball player who had declared himself a Laker for life. Vanessa, she was a 17-year-old student in Huntington Beach. It was a headline-grabbing romance, but Kobe was confident.
God has a plan for us all, and if she's the one that's meant to be, and that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a gut feeling that I'll have. I just know that she's the one.
They married quietly in April 2001 at a Catholic church in Dana Point. Kobe beamed in the fall of 2002, announcing he and Vanessa would be having a baby girl. More smiles and more baby girls would follow. Vanessa and Kobe have 4 daughters, Natalia, Gianna, Bianca, and Capri. The retired Laker legend now gets the occasional assist from the animated musical Moana.
So, like, if you're changing them on a changing table and you see them start kind of go, real
Gotta
quick,
make it happen.
I've been staring at the
Despite a storied career, Kobe was happy having retired, happy to be courtside again, but now as a coach and a cheerleader for his girls.
I can coach my daughter. I can be present at all of my eldest daughter's volleyball games. I drop them off in the morning. I pick them up in the afternoon. So zero. I have no inclination or no desire to play basketball. Just none.
What is it? Hashtag girl dad. You know, so many celebrities are so fiercely private and protective of their families.
Sure.
And while Kobe was protective, he was so proud of those 4 baby girls.
Oh,
and you
absolutely.
could see it.
And that's why we now have the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation. Sports was an enormous part, and family an enormous part of Kobe Bryant's life. You know he lived down in Orange County. Let's go down to Vicky Vargas now. She is standing by. Vicky, what's going on down there?
If you invite them, will they come? If you invite them, will they come? And the answer is yes. If you want to take a look out here, this is the soccer field at the Orange County Great Park where people are beginning to gather on the lawn. The stadium holds 5,000 people, and they have opened the doors. There is no ticket price. Parking is free. And they realized, the organizers did of this event, that they needed to be at a place where people could gather. This is also the minor league home of the LA Football Club. Folks will, for the next hour and a half, watch on the big screen that memorial coming to this area from Staples Center. You'll recall that all 9 people aboard that helicopter were from Orange County, and the developer said he felt it was important to use this field as a gathering place in addition to being a sports venue. That developer said there were even talks with Kobe Bryant fairly recently, discussing whether or not there might actually be a Mamba Academy in this area. We spoke with him, and this is what he had to say.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the world, I think, knows Kobe more as a superstar. I didn't get to know him that way. I got to know him as a human being who shared a lot of the same views I have on social issues, and we started talking about doing a lot of things, which I'm hoping we still can do.
Emil Haddad talking to us also about the Mamba Foundation and its decision to create that logo, which has now been placed on the iconic Great Park balloon, the big orange balloon here at this park, the number of the jerseys of everyone involved, plus the initials CM for Christina Mauser, the coach. When this begins a short while from now, there will also be a muralist here, a man who will be setting up a canvas and capturing this scene, the people here, and the balloon that is outside, sort of a memento during the memorial, something they will have forever beyond this day. Live in Irvine, I'm Vicki Vargas. Back to you.
All right, Vicki, thank you for that. Once again, continuing coverage of this celebration of life. Fred, you covered Kobe really from the beginning through the 5 championships. He started as a teenager, an 18-year-old. How did he evolve?
Well, he evolved as any high school, as any teenager would, into a man. And everybody makes mistakes, and everybody has great triumphs. And you always have to remember that when he got here, he was like your teenage daughter or son. He was going to make mistakes, except his were made in an enormous fishbowl.
But the thing about Kobe is that fans, young and old, loved him from the get-go, from the very beginning. What was it about him that was so endearing?
Oh, I think when he first started, his rookie year, he's in the playoffs against Utah, and he wanted the ball, and he shot 2 air balls at the end of the game, and the Lakers lost. They didn't care. He simply didn't care. It didn't faze him. It didn't shock him. It made him work harder. And I think the thing that people don't appreciate about Los Angeles, and Randy Mack said this on our radio show, you know, we are a town of grinders. People from around the country think this is La La Land in Hollywood. People here work hard every day throughout Southern California. And Kobe Bryant signified that work ethic, that commitment, that dedication. As people view us from around the world as a bunch of celebrities and stars, the truth of the matter is, in this city, everybody works hard for a living, no matter where you live. And Kobe worked harder than anybody.
And this was the day he signed with the Lakers. He wanted to be a Laker from a very young age. Remember, his dad played in Italy, in France, he played in Europe, but for some reason, there was this great connection with Kobe in Los Angeles.
Well, and understand, as Kobe was growing up, the Lakers were the marquee franchise in the NBA, the Showtime era, and Kobe wanted to continue that. But the thing about Kobe is, as big of a fan as he was of the game and of Michael Jordan, who he idolized, Kobe wanted to be Kobe. And at the end of the day, it wasn't because he was egocentric or egomaniacal. It really came down to this. He was going to outwork you. He was going to outthink you. He was going to be in the gym when you weren't, because he truly, at the end of the day, wanted to be the best.
To that end, people talk about him. If there was a game where they lost or he wanted to work on something, it wouldn't be unusual to find him in the gym at midnight working on his game.
Oh, no. Oh, absolutely. I mean, he would work harder if they lost. He would be in the gym at midnight. He would be up at 6 a.m. Byron Scott tells the story, the former Laker coach of Kobe's final year. And they were on the road. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. Kobe Bryant, in his final year with the Lakers, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and he sends Byron Scott a text. He says, "Coach, what are we doing at practice tomorrow?" Byron gets up at 6 o'clock, sees the text, and he calls Kobe. He goes, "Why are you up at 3 a.m.? Why are you worrying about what we're doing at practice tomorrow?" He goes, "I don't sleep. I'm always thinking. I'm always working." In his final days in the NBA, when he could have just sat back and coasted, he was still wondering, what are we doing at practice? And he was wondering at 3 a.m.
And that's why that final game was so spectacular.
Oh, good Lord. 60 points. If you were there, you remember. I was there. I'll tell you this. Every time he get the ball, I just scream, "Shoot!" I mean, the more he touched the ball, the more you wanted him to shoot, the more points you wanted him to score. It was one of the most spectacular performances, not in NBA history, not in Los Angeles history, but I would say in sports history. 60 points in your final game, and he was dead tired.
Let's talk a little bit about his legacy, and we'll do that because coming up next, we're going to look back at Kobe's magical final game here at Staples Center and how coffee helped to fuel Kobe's drive for success. We'll be right back.
Mathis Brothers is celebrating our 60th anniversary by offering unbeatable savings to our customers. We've asked our suppliers for extra discounts to celebrate the occasion, and they responded. Like this Lane Power Recliner for only $292. Recline at the touch of a button, and it even comes in your choice of color. Or this Lane Power Recliner in a gray microfiber for only $327. For the biggest selection of furniture, in stock at everyday low prices, shop Mathis Brothers.
The Discovery with remote intelligent seat fold. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Maddie, finally. It was locked.
I got it.
The Only Adventure sales event is happening now. Land Rover, above and beyond.
You know it's time. It's time to play. Enjoy. It's party time. Celebrate with friends. Indulge. Have a good time all the time. Now, it's your time. Barongo. Good times.
Welcome home to a world of luxurious custom fabrics and hand-polished exotic woods. Welcome to almost 90 years of American craftsmanship and a world-class design team offering you complimentary services. Welcome to modern, to classic, to elegant, and welcome to affordable. Ethan Allen, we make the American home.
Tom Steyer will beat Donald Trump on the economy. His People Over Profits plan makes a living wage a right, creates thousands of good-paying green jobs in California, and provides a 10% tax cut for everyone making under $250,000. Tom's plan also makes healthcare a right by adding a public option to Obamacare, protects union-negotiated plans, and ensures Californians can make their own healthcare choices.
I'm Tom Steyer, and I approve this message.
Back here live at Staples Center once again with the continuing coverage, a celebration of life.
After retiring, Kobe Bryant said, Colleen, he didn't miss basketball. I remember when he made his announcement and he said, I'm retiring, he said, I just don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to do this anymore. And that is because in everything he did, he gave 100% of his time and his effort. He could no longer extract any joy from the competition because he had given the competition all he had for so many years.
Well, he had suffered with so many injuries, the torn Achilles tendon, the shoulder, the knee, but he actually found a new role courtside, and that was coaching his daughter's team. He was committed to young athletes and especially empowering growing girls and the basketball. Take a look.
I'm obsessed with the game and just loving it.
Isabella Escribano, known as Izzy and sometimes Jiggy. The young phenom from Santa Clarita was recruited by Kobe himself to train with Team Mamba.
The first time I met him was just incredible because he's like, "What's up, killer?" And I'm like, Kobe Bryant just said that? Oh, wait, what?
Kobe called after seeing a video sent to him by Lakers assistant coach Phil Handy.
My childhood hero, calling my sister.
Admittedly starstruck, Izzy's brother would become even more impressed with the Laker legend.
So I always knew him as just that competitive, very just really mean on the court. Like he was just killing everybody. And then when I saw him with my sister and those girls, it's the sweetest guy I've ever known.
Izzy says Kobe taught her to be patient, encouraged her to work hard and to push her own limits.
I remember I told him, like, Coach, how many shots should I take? He's like, shoot till your arms fall off.
Then there was their special handshake.
So we would do this, and then we'd do that. So we would sprinkle. It's called sprinkle, and then snap.
Izzy says the Mambas treat each other like family.
We were all sisters.
But she felt a special connection with Gigi.
I would remember her always hugging me, always smiling, always joking around at practice, always dancing. I posted a picture of me.
Just 11 years old, Izzy tells me Kobe is the first person she's ever lost. As Los Angeles prepares to celebrate the life of this giant, Izzy knows how she will pay tribute to the man she only knew as coach.
My coach will always be in my heart. You know, he would always be my coach. And I know he's looking down on me and saying, like, keep going, just keep going. You don't need me, just keep going. He wouldn't want us to cry or be sad about it. He would want us to move on and just keep going.
Sorry, I get teary-eyed every time I listen to Izzy. She says she cried when she first went back to practice. She missed her coach, and as fierce and as determined as she has been, Marco says he's never seen her more determined. They called it the Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about that, but don't you love it? He said to her, how long should you shoot? Shoot till your arms fall off.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something, too. Watching that tape, that girl can play. She can. She can
play. Well, you know, it's
play.
interesting. She's 11 years old. She's already focused on where she wants to play college ball. She said that Kobe's daughter, Gigi, wanted to play at UConn. We mentioned that earlier. She wants to play at USC. If anybody out there is listening, she's 11 years old. Anybody would be lucky to have her on the team. And she also said Kobe called her and Gigi his two little Mambacitas.
Oh, that's
so
great.
there was a special place in his heart for her as well.
That's great. Kobe once revealed his secret to outworking everyone had to do with not much sleep. And like many of us, one of the way he fueled his grind was coffee. Vicky Vargas looked into that.
The baristas at this Newport Coast Starbucks say Kobe Bryant was a regular here, sometimes stopping in 3 times a day. Back in 2010, Andrew Gonis was the Starbucks night manager. He knew it was just a matter of time until he'd meet his basketball idol. When he did, this was their first exchange.
Oh, and your name? Kobe. You're that golfer, right? And he just looked at me like, dude.
Gonis says the company has a no autograph policy, so he opted for a different tactic and learned how to say, "May I take a picture with you?" in Italian, Kobe's second language.
I go to belt it out, "Posso prendere un foto con te?" and it didn't come out right. He loved it. He had a laugh, but he respected it. And he said, "Yes, of course, come on back here."
This is that photo, a reminder of the easy conversation Gonis would have with Kobe for the next 5 years. The now 33-year-old was working his way through college and would go on to work for an investment company.
But I think he saw in me that drive, that Mamba mentality people talk about. So I think that was probably a catalyst for conversation and just a demeanor that didn't celebritize.
Gonis couldn't make it to Kobe's last game, so his mom got him a coveted program. After he left Starbucks, Kobe learned the former barista had gotten married and sent a message through a coworker.
And congratulations, that's so fantastic to hear. He's about to enter into the best chapter of his life. And it really spoke to how he viewed being a husband.
Inside the Starbucks now are 2 names near the menu board, Kobe and Gigi. As for Andrew Gonis, his prized possession is the signature he eventually got on that photo.
To Andrew, best wishes. Inspire change, change the world.
Gonis says there is no doubt Kobe Bryant changed his world. In Newport Beach, Vicky Vargas, NBC4 News.
Once again, we're just turning around. There are still fans going in there, and you know, I'm going to say hundreds of fans, because it's not just in front of Staples Center here. They're still streaming in from both sides, Figueroa. And as I said earlier, they're really picking up the pace moving in there.
We got the start time now. We've got the start time 10:28. They wanted everybody in their seat at 9:45. They wanted to start at 10. When we came on the air, we speculated they might get started a little late. So the official start time now is 10:28.
Again, we have Michael Brownlee inside, and he is texting us what he is seeing in there. We understand the stage is covered in red roses. We talked about close to 35,000 roses there. It's covered in red roses, and it's bathed in purple light in there. And no doubt he says that he suspects that's where some of the dignitaries or some of the basketball players, some of the really close friends will be sitting. We should have a live shot in there shortly. And once again, we will carry this celebration of life in its entirety.
And now we do have a look It's a little tough to see because of the camera position, but you can see that the stage is its center court. So the memorial, the celebration of life will be done in the round, and we will continue our coverage right after this.
Grief.
And right now, he's greatly missed.
And Kobe.
Loss.
Oh my God, this is awful.
My hero just died.
A city's heartache.
Kobe's been really a light in our city for over 20 years.
A family heartbroken.
It's sad, my heart goes out to Vanessa and his daughters.
Kobe Bryant, an icon among Titans, big and small.
Every time I step on that court, every dribble, every shot is for them. Everything is for my coach and Gigi.
Kobe and his daughter Gianna, their legacies now forever entwined, today honored and remembered together. Welcome back, everyone, to our continuing coverage of the celebration of life, Kobe and Gianna Bryant. We understand we're less than 30 minutes away at this point to the beginning. They pushed the time back. We can tell you Michael Brownlee inside has told us that they've given out these programs with beautiful pictures of both Kobe and Gigi in there. There is a T-shirt, which a lot of people will remember, a T-shirt with their numbers on there and the new logo for the Mamba,
the Mambacita
sign. Academy, and also a lapel pin, a Kobe lapel pin.
We know that over 88,000 people applied for tickets. Staples Center seats about 20,000. Everybody was asked to be here by 8 o'clock, be in their seats at 9:45. But people are still streaming in, and that's probably why they're going to start this at 10:28. Downtown is blocked off. If you do not have a ticket, we've mentioned it many times this morning, but as we continue on, please stay, watch at home. You can join us on NBC4. It'll be broadcast in many locations, but please stay out of the downtown area because the downtown area is pretty much blocked off.
It was difficult even getting in here, and we were just across the street. I've got to ask you, Fred, Kobe won 5 championship rings.
Right.
You were there for all of them.
Yes. Yeah. And it was quite the ride and quite the journey. And I admit, it was a lot of fun. And Kobe got me right after the first one back in 2000.
Take your last Bull Championship ring on. Interviewing us all them damn years. Get your LA ring on. Get your party on. Get your party on. Get your party on.
Kobe, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Congratulations. How you feeling?
I feel great. Hold on, I'm gonna take care of my LA people over here.
Now you have your 3rd NBA title. How does that make you feel?
It's an unbelievable feeling. It's amazing looking back at everything that we've been through, and now we're standing here with 3 championships, and I'm standing here with a 3rd one. It's at 23. I can't believe this is happening.
You know, Colleen, I'm going to tell you a quick story. The one in Philadelphia, when NBC had the NBA package, we would always do our post-game shows. And what would happen is we would ask the league for a location. Since we were a local station, we'd beg, borrow, and steal, and they'd put us in a closet, they'd put us in a room, and it was up to us to try to coerce guys to come over. In Philadelphia, we were standing outside their club, like the Lexus Club here. And we're just standing in the hallway, and if we got lucky, far from the locker room, somebody would come over. All of a sudden, and we are way over here, so you can't see us, I see this giant group of people moving. And they're surrounding someone who's carrying the trophy. And there are network obligations after you win a championship. You have to go to the various outlets that are rights holders. And as Kobe was walking down the hall, for whatever reason, he turned and he looked like this, and we were standing there. And he made a detour. And he came right over to us, and you heard that clip on the air where he said, I've got to take care of the local people, the Los Angeles people. He did that on his own. He completely changed the minute he saw us because that's how invested he was in Los Angeles. He thought, we'll take care of our own first, then I'll go off and do the rest of the country.
You also covered him for the Olympics. He played in, 2 Olympics?
Yeah,
Gold medal both time?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, when Kobe's playing in the Olympics, they're not going to lose. I mean, when he is on that group, the Olympic team is going to beat everybody around the world. So, and the Olympics meant a lot to him, but everything he did meant a lot to him. You have a live look now inside of Staples Center, and you can see that the roses are surrounding the stage there. And you can see people moving around. So we know the celebration of life or the memorial will be done in the round. And we know also, Colleen, that there are a row of seats on stage, and you would have to believe that that row of seats would be for family members, close friends, and perhaps dignitaries.
And we don't know at this point if, in fact, Vanessa Bryant and her 3 children will be inside, but we do know that she had and played a big part in all of this. Her influence is being felt throughout all of this. We want to tell you as well, NBC4's Annette Auriemma joins us live at one of the 50 murals. So many of these murals have gone up all over the city. Annette, you're just across from the convention center, we understand?
Actually, we switched locations, Colleen. This mural you see behind us here is off of Pico and Grand, just one of the many that popped up days after Kobe and Gigi's passing. I want to go ahead and bring in Louis. He is the mastermind, the creator behind this mural right over here. How long did it take you, Louis, to get this fully completed?
It took me about a week. This was an unprepared mural. It was kind of like last minute. And there's just a lot of freehand work. Yeah, so like about a week. I came back because one time the Kobe didn't look as good as I wanted it to. So I just wanted to try to perfect my work as best as I could.
And we know that he inspired you to do multiple murals around the city, correct?
Yes, I'm going to be doing 24. I got 3 right now. I'm working on the 4th. I'll be releasing it probably in a couple days, and then I'll be moving on to the 5th this week as well.
Now, you used a lot of spray paint in this one. What kind of inspiration did you draw from for each one of the murals that you've done so far?
Just my inspiration was just always, of course, Kobe, you know, just working hard on the craft, and just with Gigi and the loss is just a tragic loss. And I feel I do very well under pressure when it comes to art and going through hard times. I feel like my best art comes from there, and yeah.
Now this one here, an angel lost 2 angels in the City of Angels. Your other 3 murals, what do they focus on? What's the theme on those?
There's no set theme. It's kind of like just pretty much like I do a lot of like freestyle work, so it's just like off the top of my head, or some will be more planned out better. It's just I got to get a better feel for the walls and everything like that. But I plan on doing stuff from Kobe's young age, to childhood, to everything, and Gigi as well, and all that. So, yeah.
Well, beautiful work. And I also want to go ahead and bring in Cecilia. Cecilia, she is the owner of Hardcore Fitness. Now, I know Louis approached you right after Kobe's passing to paint this mural over here. Your reaction to it when he asked you?
Well, what he was asking was very meaningful. You know, we have our members, they are based here in LA. We're so close, and we try to bring awareness. Original, he wants to do in the front, the little baby, and then we look around when are we going to do it. You know, he's a truly artist. His passion, he put a lot of work in this one, and like we say, we have to do something that is going to be big, but most than anything is going to bring awareness to the community, to our members, because we are the gym, we're a transformation center that we want to change life. This is a family, you know, and this is what is going to make a difference. Like I said to him, this is going to remind every people that life is so fragile. And I think this is why we went like that. The amount of hours and dedication and love that he has put on it is reflecting what he did. It took him like over a week, since early in the morning until late nights, 11 midnight, we were here. He was here painting, you know, and he was very detailed. His intentions were good. Our intentions were always good. And like I say, I support him whatever he wants to do. And it was creative. And
it's beautiful.
It is, like I told him, this is the best Kobe mural out there. It's going to bring a lot of awareness to people. And this is something that is going to stay here, you know, whatever. Right. And every time someone passes by, it's going to remember what, because Kobe has impacted so many lives. It has changed inspired so many people, and this is an honor not just for the community, but to their family, to his memory, to what it represents, family. You know,
absolutely,
family, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. Thank you so much, Louie. And you can see all the folks that are just hanging out here. So many have already dropped by taking photos. Many of these folks who could not get tickets to the memorial ceremony trying to pay tribute their own way, visiting all of these murals throughout the city. That's the very latest. We'll send it back to you guys out in Staples Center.
The murals have been spectacular throughout Southern California. So many people have put so much time and their heart into those murals to say thank you and to remember someone who was incredibly special. Now, Colleen, we did say we're scheduled to start at 10:28, and behind us there's a guy on a bullhorn yelling, "If you're getting in, you better get going."
Yeah, he's asking people to pick up the pace.
Start
there,
moving,
so.
because we now understand that some sort of preliminary video tribute is rolling. That is not the ceremony. Once the ceremony begins, we will take it and bring it to you in its entirety live. But this is kind of the final warning for people to get in, because they're now starting a preliminary video.
And you know, it's interesting. I would say at least a couple of hundred people are still outside here, but the numbers have diminished. While we continue to look at this area right here, we're going to send you over to Kim Tobin. She's live in downtown LA, just down the street from us, with more on some of the people, some of the vendors who have lined up with Kobe merchandise, and there certainly is a lot of it out there today. Kim.
Hey, you guys, we're out here at 9th Street and Figueroa. Good morning to you. We've seen so many fans coming by here wearing their gold, wearing their purple here. Some of these fans right here coming by, looking at all the merchandise, all the vendors out here. Did you bring your son out here today, sir? Yeah?
Yeah, me, my family right there came, drove 3 hours away to come be a part of this. Been a big Kobe fan since I was about 12, 13 years old. And it's just heartbreaking. I actually named my son after Kobe Bryant. His name's Bryant Mendoza.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Bryant. That's so cool that you guys got to come as a family. Where did you guys drive in from?
Tulare, California. Yeah.
And did you get tickets, or did you just want to be here in person?
We tried to get the tickets, but we didn't get the confirmation on the email. So I just thought, being down here and being a part of it all, it'd be worth it. And it is, it's good to see a lot of people showing a lot of love out here. And it just shows what a big impact that Kobe Bryant had. And, it's just sad for him and his daughter. But, everybody out here keeps their spirits alive, and they keep their name going.
And you guys wanted to be out here specifically, even though you didn't have tickets, but just to be close to it here. I mean, what kind of impact did Kobe have on you in your life when you think of the Black Mamba, what he represented, why you named your son after him, too?
It's just the guy he was. He never quit. He always stuck through it, being a Laker for 20 years, when he could have left us when the times got rough and everything, but he stuck it out. And, it just shows that, when life gets hard, you don't give up, you keep going, and that's what that Mamba mentality is all about.
Thank you so much. Can I have a high five, Bryant? Thank you. Well, this is a lot. Again, we have families that are coming here from all over the place, and this is kind of down the vendor road like we were showing you before. We have all of these shirts. A lot of these vendors, some of these folks here we were talking to are actually from Washington, D.C., and they made the flight in. They had their merchandise shipped over so that they could come out here. They could sell it here today and be able to talk with fans, because not only was this obviously the merchandise part, but he's also very important in part to their lives, too, and they wanted to display all of this, all of their creations here that are kind of laid out on the streets. And this is kind of packed. You see all these people, again, carrying their jerseys, showing off their number 24, number 8 over here for Kobe Bryant. And this has just been a busy morning watching all the fans kind of making their way, because if we're walking this direction now, this is on the way to Staples Center, but this whole area has just been packed with all of the gold, the purple, a lot of fans kind of just wanting to stop by and, again, just be close to this place for this celebration of life. Even though it's a somber moment like we've talked about, a lot of people want to have today to be happy, but also to find that closure after losing somebody that's been so important to the LA community, but not just the LA community. Again, we've talked to people from all over the United States who have come here a little bit earlier. Talked to a guy from South Carolina that got his tickets as well. So this has just been kind of a show. As you're walking down, you can see all the shirts hanging all the way. A lot of people kind of streaming. They're on FaceTime with their family. Yep. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? My daughter.
Are you showing her everything here in LA?
I am, see?
That's awesome. So yeah, everyone's showing off their families here too, just to kind of get a look around LA to see what's going on. And we're going to keep walking, guys. So this is kind of making the way down. And again, lining the streets, Kobe and Gigi, their faces all on the t-shirts here. And it's been pretty busy, but again, a lot of these folks just getting as close as they can to this area, being able to see what they can ahead of this memorial, ahead of this celebration of life. You guys, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Kim. All right, let's take a look now from News Chopper 4 at the scene around Staples Center, and the crowds are still filing in. Now, it wasn't as it was, but Colleen, we look over our shoulder, they're still coming.
I would say we've got at least a couple of hundred people, and people are still running up here in this area. And you know what? It makes me think of, it's been 4 weeks. It was 4 weeks yesterday since that chopper crash. It's cathartic for people just to be together. We met a couple of guys last night, Fred and I, who didn't have tickets, knew they weren't going to get tickets. They were such Laker fans, such Kobe fans, and they just wanted to stay downtown in a hotel where they could be close by.
Just to be part of it. So many people have bonded, have come together, and need to come together after something like this.
Well, that's one legacy that Kobe's definitely going to leave. There's a unification here. We haven't talked about the Mamba mentality and how that really resonates with so many people. The 11-year-old girl, Izzy, who we profiled just a couple of minutes ago, she's 11 years old, and she's got that drive, that fire, that focus that really Kobe had. And all of his Mambas, the young Mamba girl team, same sort of thing. There's a certain focus. When you say Mamba mentality, people know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, it comes down to this. Every day be your best. Every day do whatever it takes to be successful. Outwork someone, study. If you can, be smarter than they are. Mm-hmm. Put in the time, put in the commitment. Don't cheat yourself. Give it all you've got every day, 24 hours a day. His mentality is be the best. Be the best you can be every single day. And if it comes down to being close, outworking somebody will get you over the top. And that's how we looked at it. I've said this many times. Kobe was an incredible basketball player, but he wasn't the fastest basketball player. He didn't have the best shot of any basketball player. And everything he did is because he worked so incredibly hard to perfect his craft, to get that edge, to just have that little bit more to put him over the top. That's the Mamba mentality. Be your very best every day, and then things will fall into line for you. Preparation is the key to success.
Our Tony Guignard is just a couple hundred yards away from us. She's been talking to some of the fans, watching people stream in all morning long. Tony?
Good morning, Colleen. Just when you think the last of the fans are inside Staples Center, another wave comes along, but I think it has quieted down right now, just so our viewers know what has taken place. And perhaps you can't hear the announcements from your vantage point, but you have folks out here with Staples on bullhorns telling people to make sure to have their tickets out. Remember, these were mobile tickets, so they had to have their cell phones out. Part of the problem, many of those folks are trying to document what they see and document this moment. I want you to take a look at this. I've been in contact with one of the guests inside who sent me a photograph of the T-shirt that everyone in attendance of this celebration of life received. Beautiful photos of Kobe and Gigi, father and child. At points during this entrance, we saw people running to get in. We know initially this memorial was supposed to begin at 10 o'clock this morning. That did not happen. The people who are coming in, however, definitely a cross-section of this community, call it a reflection of how many people want to pay tribute to Kobe Bryant and his daughter. Up above, I don't know if we saw a shot of it or not, but the Goodyear blimp scrolling MambaOn3.org. My colleague Patrick Healy talking about Vanessa Bryant wanting to put the focus back on that organization. That's where much of the money is going to. The Lakers, the Bryant family, and all of Los Angeles have been planning this celebration of life. And when you talk about all the moving parts here, there is a convention taking place at the nearby hotel, so you have all of those folks in the mix as well. Again, I have some more photos to show you from a gentleman inside. I was told by Pete Garcia and his daughter that they came from Pomona, made it to their seats. He says, my daughter and I have traveled a long way. Right now it is very quiet inside Staples. He also sent me a photo of the program, and in addition to that, a photo of the stage. Fred, I heard you talking about it. People in the center surrounded by a sea of red roses. Mr. Garcia sent me a text saying, more family and more friends of all that loss, a love. And that, I think, sums it up for the people who are inside. Back to you.
Amen to Mr. Garcia, Tony. Thank you.
And you know, I just noticed behind us for the first time, it looks like all the fans are inside. The doors are clear. There are a few people standing around outside. They're in purple jerseys. They appear to be with the Lakers, but for the first time, it looks like everybody is inside.
Looks like we're about 9 minutes away from getting going. So there's the inside look at Staples Center. That is a live picture. We know there's a preliminary video that is airing at this point. The proceeding, the ceremony scheduled to get started at 10:28 as we continue our coverage from downtown Los Angeles.
Lease F-150 for only $299 per month, or drive home with $7,500 total cash at your Southern California Ford dealers.
This is the Chevy Silverado with the world's first invisible trailer.
Invisible trailer?
Hop in. Silverado offers an optional technology package with up to 15 different views, including one enhanced view that makes your trailer appear invisible. Wow, that's pretty sweet.
Cool. Where's the trailer though?
Or current qualified Silverado lessees can lease this Silverado Custom without optional tech package or enhanced invisible view for around $239 a month. Or get 0% financing for 72 months on all Silverado 1500 Crew Cab pickups when you purchase.
Performance meets efficiency in the 2020 Nissan Altima, featuring the world's first BC turbo engine that can adapt in an instant to give you power when you want it and fuel efficiency when you need it. This is the 2020 Nissan Altima with BC Turbo, one of Ward's 10 best engines. Get a low $199 per month lease or get 0% financing for 36 months on the 2020 Altima.
All right, let's get going.
You want to make sure to I ordered it for everyone. I think I have the exact amount.
We got the biggest Subaru to help bring our family together.
Just resting my eyes.
Even though we're generations apart.
What a day. I just love those kids.
The 3-row Subaru Ascent. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Visit your local Southern California Subaru retailer for a test drive today.
The Tonight Show on NBC4 is sponsored locally by Auto Club Speedway.
You can't unsee that.
And it's surprisingly sexy.
It's like a cold pigeon.
The Tonight Show on NBC4 is sponsored locally by Auto Club 400, NASCAR's only stop in Southern California on March 1st.
To be a great explorer, you need to be ready for everything and anything. You need the all-new 2020 Ford Explorer.
Lease an Explorer for $279 per month, or get 0% financing for 60 months plus $3,500 bonus cash.
Back here live at Staples Center, once again, we are just moments away from the celebration of life of Kobe and Geno Bryant. And it would appear as we look behind us that all the fans are now inside in their seats.
About 7 minutes now, about 7 minutes till this celebration begins. And it is a time for, I think, all of us here in Southern California to try to put some closure on what happened and really try to move forward. Walking down the street for the past month, this has still been the prevailing topic and what has been on people's minds. Kobe Bryant basically constructed Staples Center with the victories he helped the Lakers to. And you think back to the days of Kobe and Shaq and the success they had and how they absolutely owned the city. Both an enormous part of that. Jerry Buston had to make a decision and selected Kobe as Shaq moved on, because Kobe was younger.
The one thing we've heard, and we ran into this yesterday evening as well, the one thing you hear from people is, where were you when you heard? We talk about it being cathartic. They want to share their memories of Kobe, whether it's a championship, whether they are hashtag girl dads, or for whatever reason, he touched so many people. And you think about that term Mamba mentality and how it carries forward and how so many people are really, while they may not have known about it before, they're definitely integrating it into their lives. And we've heard from so many people, they may not have been Laker fans, they may not have been big sports fans or big basketball fans, but they were fans of Kobe. They were fans of what he did when he played, but moreover, they were fans of what he did when he retired and how he lived his life and how he enjoyed his family.
When you look inside Staples Center now, every one of the people in there, so many of them had seen him perform on the court. Every one of those people in there are there to say goodbye. And Colin, you talk about how he did transcend and why. I think we touched on it a bit ago. But everybody in their own special way hopes there's a bit of Kobe Bryant inside them. You can't be Kobe, but you can be what Kobe suggested. You can have that Mamba mentality. You can strive to be the best. And that's really what he asked of everybody he met in his life. And that is, it's funny, there was a period of time where people thought, you know, Kobe, he just doesn't get along with people. That's not true. And that was incorrect. The truth of the matter is, Kobe respected those that respected the process, respected the work ethic, respected the commitment. And if you did that, he always had time for you.
You know, it's interesting. We're hearing that Beyonce will perform inside. Once again, we're just moments away from the start.
About 2 minutes now.
Talk about the Mamba mentality. And, you know, Fred, if you actually Google that, it will come up as a phrase, and it gives you a whole definition of what it is. You talk about legacy. Talk to me a little bit about the championships that you covered with him. We saw the picture of you being doused with champagne, but it never tasted so good when you think back.
Oh, look, that run that he and Shaq had was absolutely magnificent. And sadly, as oftentimes in life relationships do, it imploded, Shaq and Kobe. But they captured the city. They captured the imagination of the city, very much like the Showtime Lakers did back in the 80s. But Kobe was young and fresh and new, and Shaq was young, and together they were building this incredible dynasty, and they did win their championships together. God, and I'm looking inside now, and we are literally 90 seconds away. You look inside, you mentioned Beyonce is going to perform. All right, we've learned that. I just think of how many times those people were in that arena to watch him compete. And now everyone on their feet inside, and they've all come to say goodbye. We're 60 seconds away, Colleen, from the start.
Once again, as we look inside, this is a live picture inside Staples Center. So many fans out here today looking perhaps for a little closure.
Yes.
Looking perhaps just to feel a piece of Kobe and Gianna and the 7 other souls who lost their lives on that Sunday 4 weeks ago.
They will all be remembered today. The celebration of life will be anywhere from 2 to 3 hours long. We thank you for joining us early. And now,
go ahead. We'll be out here all day. We will have more after the celebration of life and more at 4, 5, and 6 today.
Let's send you inside to Staples Center.
Yes, I'm ready. Good morning, and welcome to the celebration of life for Kobe and Gianna Bryant and their friends, John, Carrie, and Alyssa Altabelli, Sarah and Peyton Chester, Christina Mauser, and Ara Zabayan. On behalf of Vanessa and the entire Bryant family, we thank you for your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time and appreciate your love in coming to celebrate the life of these remarkable individuals. While this is a memorial event, the word celebration is very much a part of its purpose. And while we ask you to respect the solemnity of the occasion, we must not forget to celebrate the lives of Kobe, Gianna, and their friends. There is no doubt that he would have wanted that. To begin this event, a very close friend of the Bryant family is here to show her love and support to Vanessa and all the families here today. Please welcome Beyonce Knowles Carter.
Your love is bright as ever, even in the shadows. Baby, kiss me, before they turn the lights out. I'm here because I love Kobe. And this was one of his favorite songs. So I want to start that over, but I want us to do it all together. And I want you to sing it so loud they hear your love. Are y'all ready? Love you. Your love is bright as ever. Even in the shadows. Baby, kiss me. Before they turn the lights out. Your heart is glowing. And I'm laughing into you. So baby, kiss me. Before they turn the lights out. And so you can turn the lights out. In the darkest night hour. In the darkest night hour. I search through the crowd. Your face is all that I see. I'm gonna give you everything. Baby, love me lights out. Baby, love me lights out. And so you can turn my lights out. We don't have forever. Ooh, baby, daylight's wasting. You better kiss me before the time is run out. Ooh, yeah. Nobody sees what we see. We're just hopelessly gazing. You better take me before they turn the lights out. Before the time is run out. Baby, love me lights out. In the darkest night hour. In the darkest night hour. I search through the crowd. Your face is all that I see. I'm gonna give you everything. Baby, love me lights out. Baby, love me lights out. And so you can turn my lights out. You love me like an XO. I love you like an XO. Just kiss me, boy, XO. You love me like an XO. All I ever see. Gonna give you everything. Baby, love me lights out. Baby, love me lights out. And so you can turn my lights out. Remember those walls I built? Well, baby, they're tumbling down. They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. I found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo. Got my angel now. I've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking. It's the risk I'm never gonna shut you out. 'Cause everywhere we're looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby,
Well, he might be only 18 years and 5 months old, but this guy can do everything that the veterans can do and do it better, perhaps. Kobe Bryant.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones in today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain. When I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name. Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say,
if you do the work, you work hard enough, dreams come true. Those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey. If you guys can understand that, then what you'll see happen is that you won't accomplish your dreams. Your dreams won't come true. Something greater will.
Memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so lost, and I felt all of the hatred was too powerful to stop. And my heart feel like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark. I'll carry these torches for you, and you know I'll never drop. Yeah, everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones in today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your.
You guys will always be in my heart. I sincerely appreciate it. No words can describe how I feel about you guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys. I love you guys.
Memories bring back your.
What can I say? Mamba out.
Our thanks go out to Beyonce for being with us today and for expressing her love so beautifully. Another good friend of the Bryants and the Laker family is here to help guide us through this morning's celebration. Would you please welcome Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, you picked the wrong person to guide you through. I'm going to tell you that right now. I want to thank everyone for being here, and thank you for gathering to celebrate the lives of Alyssa Altobelli, her parents, John and Carrie Altobelli, Peyton Chester, her mother, Sarah Chester, Christina Mauser, Ara Zabayan, Gigi Bryant, and her father, Kobe Bryant. This is a sad day, but it is also a celebration of life, of their lives, and of life itself in the building where those of us who are Lakers fans and Kobe fans celebrated so many of the best times of our lives. And I'm honored to have been asked to speak here. The proceeds from the tickets you bought go directly to the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation, which supports youth sports in underserved communities. I also encourage you to go to mambaon3.org to give to the Mamba on 3 Fund, which was created to honor and provide financial support to the Chester, Altobelli, Zabayan, and Mauser families. I can only imagine how painful this is for them. I don't think any of us could have imagined this. Everywhere you go, you see his face, his number. Gigi's face, Gigi's number. Everywhere, at every intersection. There are hundreds of murals painted by artists who were inspired, not because he is a basketball player, but because Kobe was an artist too. And not just in LA, across the country, in Kobe's hometown, Philadelphia, in Italy, in India, the Philippines, China, New York, Phoenix, Boston, for God's sake. In places where he would be booed on the court, Kobe is missed. Even the great Boston Celtic Bill Russell wore number 24 and a Lakers jersey to yesterday's game. I knew he would come to us eventually. Today we're joined by Kobe's teammates and opponents alike, his friends, his family, and his fans, as we try to make sense of what happened to these 9 beautiful people who were, by all accounts, so full of life, who left behind parents, friends, co-workers, classmates, siblings, and children. I've been trying to come up with something positive to take away from this, and it was hard because there isn't much, but the best thing I think I was able to come up with is this: gratitude. It seems to me that all we can do is be grateful for the time we had with them and for the time we have left with each other, and that's all. In the Catholic Church, you know, which the Bryant family is part of, at Mass, we share the sign of peace. This is a moment to hug or shake hands with people around you, and it occurred to me that that is something that only seems to happen at church and at sporting events, when perfect strangers who love the same team are suddenly hugging and high-fiving and celebrating together. And so, since we are here today to celebrate, I'd like to invite you right now to take a moment to say hello to the people around you, whether you know them or not, to be grateful for life and for the fact that we are all here together. Now I'd like to introduce the person who invited us all here today on 224 because she knew we needed it. And we cannot celebrate the lives of Kobe and Gigi and all the people we lost without honoring the woman that Kobe and Gigi loved most. Please welcome Vanessa Bryant.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. It means so much to us. Love you too. First, I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. The outpouring of love and support that my family has felt from around the world has been so uplifting. Thank you so much for all your prayers. I'd like to talk about both Kobe and Gigi, but I'll start with my baby girl first. My baby girl. Geno Bryant is an amazingly sweet and gentle soul. She was always thoughtful. She always kissed me goodnight and kissed me good morning. There were a few occasions where I was absolutely tired from being up with Bianca and Capri, and I thought she had left to school without saying goodbye. I'd text and say, "No kiss?" And Gianna would reply with, "Mama, I kissed you, but you were asleep and I didn't want to wake you." She knew how much her morning and evening kisses meant to me, and she was so thoughtful to remember to kiss me every day. She was Daddy's girl, but I know she loved her mama, and she would always tell me and show me how much she loved me. She was one of my very best friends. She loved to bake. She loved putting a smile on everyone's face. Last August, she made a beautiful birthday cake for her daddy. It had fondant and looked like it had blue agate crystals. Kobe's birthday cake looked like it was professionally decorated. She made the best chocolate chip cookies. She loved watching cooking shows and cupcake wars with me, and she loved watching Survivor and NBA games on TV with her daddy. She also loved watching Disney movies with her sisters. Gigi was very competitive like her daddy, but Gianna had a sweet grace about her. Her smile was like sunshine. Her smile took up her entire face, like mine. Kobe always said she was me. She had my fire, my personality, and sarcasm. She was tender and loving on the inside. She had the best laugh. It was infectious. It was pure and genuine. Kobe and Gianna naturally gravitated towards each other. She had Kobe's ability to listen to a song and have all the lyrics memorized after listening to the song a couple of times. It was their secret talent. She was an incredible athlete. She was great at gymnastics, soccer, softball, dance, and basketball. She was an incredible dancer too. She loved to swim, dance, do cartwheels, and jumps into our swimming pool, and Gigi loved her TikTok dances. Gigi was confident, but not in an arrogant way. She loved helping and teaching other people things. At school, she offered the boys' basketball coaches to help give the boys' basketball team some pointers, like the triangle offense. She was very much like her daddy, and that they both liked helping people learn new things and master them. They were great teachers. Gigi was very sweet. She always made sure everyone was okay. She was our shepherd. She always kept our family together. She loved family traditions. Family movie night and game night on vacations were important to her. Gigi always looked out for everyone. She was very much in tune with our feelings and wanted the best for us. Gianna was smart. She knew how to read, speak, and write Mandarin. She knew Spanish. She had great grades and kept them up, all while becoming an incredible basketball player. She was president of School Spirit on student council. She was director's assistant for her school play, just like her big sister. She was looking forward to graduating 8th grade and moving on to high school with her big sister, Natalia. I'm so happy she was given the opportunity to know that she was accepted to the same high school. She was really happy. Gianna made us all proud, and she still does. Gianna never tried to conform. She was always herself. She was a nice person, a leader, a teacher, wearing a white tee, black leggings, a denim jacket, white high-top Converse, and a flannel tied around her waist with straight hair was her go-to style. She had so much swag and rhythm ever since she was a baby. She gave the best hugs and the best kisses. She had gorgeous soft lips like her daddy. She would hug me and hold me so tight. I could feel her love me. I loved the way she looked up at me while hugging me. It was as if she was soaking me all in. We love each other so much. I miss her so much. She was so energetic. I couldn't keep up with her energy. She lapped Natalia and I on a track once. She was about 6 years old. We let her have a head start. She still dusted us. I missed her sweet kisses. I missed her cleverness. I missed her sarcasm, her wit, and that adorable sly-side smile followed with a grin and a burst of laughter. We shared the same cat that ate the canary grin. Gigi was sunshine. She brightened up my day every day. I miss looking at her beautiful face. She was always so good, a rule follower. I knew I could always count on her to do the right thing. She was the most loving daughter, thoughtful little sister, and silly big sister. She happily helped carry the littles' diaper bag or played with them. She liked helping me with Bianca and Capri. Bianca loved going to the playground, swimming and jumping on the trampoline with Gigi. I used to tell Gigi that I thought Coco considered her favorite sister. Capri would smile from ear to ear when Gigi walked into the room, and Capri reminds me a lot of Gianna. They look alike and just smile with their whole face, pure joy. We will not be able to see Gigi go to high school with Natalia and ask her how her day went. We didn't get the chance to teach her how to drive a car. I won't be able to tell her how gorgeous she looks on her wedding day. I'll never get to see my baby girl walk down the aisle, have a father-daughter dance with her daddy, dance on the dance floor with me, or have babies of her own. Gianna would have been an amazing mommy. She was very maternal ever since she was really little. Gigi would have most likely become the best player in the WNBA. She would have made a huge difference. She would have made a huge difference for women's basketball. Gigi was motivated to change the way everyone viewed women in sports. She wrote papers in school defending women and wrote about how the unequal pay difference for the NBA and WNBA leagues wasn't fair. And I truly feel she made positive changes for the WNBA players now, since they knew Gigi's goal was to eventually play in the WNBA. I'm still so proud of Gianna. She made a difference and was kind to everyone she met in the 13 years she was here on Earth. Her classmates shared many fond memories about Gianna with us, and those stories reminded me that Gianna loved and showed everyone that no act of kindness is ever too small to make a difference in someone's life. She was always, always, always considerate of others and their feelings. She was a beautiful, kind, happy, silly, thoughtful, and loving daughter and sister. She was so full of life and had so much more to offer this world. I cannot imagine life without her. Mommy, Natalia, Bianca, Capri, and Daddy love you so much, Gigi. I will miss your sweet handmade cards, your sweet kisses, and your gorgeous smile. I miss you, all of you, every day. I love you. Okay, now for my soulmate. Kobe was known as a fierce competitor on the basketball court. The greatest of all time, a writer, an Oscar winner, and the Black Mamba. But to me, he was Kobe, my boo-boo, my baby, my papi chulo. I was his Vivi, his principessa, his reina, his queen mama, Mamba, and his Visky Maniski Fab. I couldn't see him as a celebrity, nor just an incredible basketball player. He was my sweet husband and the beautiful father of our children. He was mine. He was my everything. Kobe and I have been together since I was 17 and a half years old. I was his first girlfriend, his first love, his wife, his best friend, his confidant, and his protector. He was the most amazing husband. Kobe loved me more than I could ever express or put into words. He was the early bird, and I was the night owl. I was fire, and he was ice, and vice versa at times. We balanced each other out. He would do anything for me. I have no idea how I deserved a man that loved and wanted me more than Kobe. He was charismatic, a gentleman. He was loving, adoring, and romantic. He was truly the romantic one in our relationship and looked forward to Valentine's Day and our anniversaries every year. He planned special anniversary trips and a special traditional gift for every year of our marriage. He even handmade my most treasured gifts. He just thought outside the box and was so thoughtful, even while working hard to be the best athlete. He gifted me the actual notebook and the blue dress Rachel McAdams wore in the Notebook movie. When I asked him why he chose the blue dress, he said it was because it's a scene when Allie comes back to Noah. We had hoped to grow old together like the movie. We really had an amazing love story. We loved each other with our whole beings, two perfectly imperfect people, making a beautiful family and raising our sweet and amazing girls. A couple weeks before they passed, Kobe sent me a sweet text and mentioned how he wanted to spend time together. Just the two of us, without our kids, because I'm his best friend first. We never got the chance to do it. We were busy taking care of our girls and just doing our regular, everyday responsibilities. But I'm thankful I have that recent text. It means so much to me. Kobe wanted us to renew our vows. He wanted Natalia to take over his company, and he wanted to travel the world together. We had always talked about how we'd be the fun grandparents to our daughter's children. He would have been the coolest grandpa. Kobe was the MVP of girl dads, or MVD. He never left the toilet seat up. He always told the girls how beautiful and smart they are. He taught them how to be brave and how to keep pushing forward when things get tough. And when Kobe retired from the NBA, he took over dropping off and picking up our girls from school, since I was at home pregnant with Bianca and just recently home nursing Capri. When Kobe was still playing, I used to show up an hour early to be the first in line to pick up Natalia and Gianna from school, and I told him he couldn't drop the ball once he took over. He was late one time, and we most definitely let him know that I was never late. So we showed up 1 hour and 20 minutes early after that. He always knew there was room for improvement and wanted to do better. He happily did carpool and enjoyed spending time in the car with our girls. He was a doting father, a father that was hands-on and present. He helped me bathe Bianca and Capri almost every night. He would sing them silly songs in the shower and continue making them laugh and smile as he lathered them in lotion and got them ready for bed. He had magic arms and could put Capri to sleep in only a few minutes. He said he had it down to a science, 8 times up and down our hallway. He loved taking Bianca to Fashion Island and watch her play in the koi pond area, and loved taking her to the park. Their most recent visit to the koi pond was the evening before he and Gigi passed. He shared a love of movies and the breakdown of films with Natalia. He enjoyed renting out theaters and taking Natalia to watch the newest Star Wars movie or Harry Potter films. And they would have movie marathons, and he enjoyed every second of it. He loved your typical tearjerkers too. He liked watching Stepmom, Steel Magnolias, and Little Women. He had a tender heart. Kobe somehow knew where I was at all times, specifically when I was late to his games. He would worry about me if I wasn't in my seat at the start of each game, and would ask security where I was at the first timeout of the first quarter. And my smart ass would tell him that he wasn't going to drop 81 points within the first 10 minutes of the game. I think anyone with kids understands that sometimes we can't make it out the door on time. And eventually he was used to my tardiness and balled out. The fact that he could play on an intense professional level and still be concerned by making sure we made it to the game safely was just another example of how family came first to him. He loved being Gianna's basketball coach. He told me he wished he would have convinced Natalia to play basketball so that they could have spent even more time together. But he also wanted her to pursue her own passion. He watched Natalia play in a volleyball tournament on her birthday, on January 19th, and he noticed how she's a very intelligent player. He was convinced she would have made a great point guard with her vision of the court. And he told me that he wanted Bianca and Capri to take up basketball when they get older so he could spend just as much time with them as he did with Gigi. And Kobe always told Bianca and Capri that they were going to grow up and play basketball and mix they ass up. Now they won't have their daddy and sister here to teach them, and that is truly a loss I do not understand. But I'm so thankful Kobe heard Coco say, "Dada." He isn't going to be here to drop Bianca and Capri off at pre-K or kindergarten. He isn't going to be here to tell me to get a grip V when we have to leave the kindergarten classroom, or show up to our daughter's doctor's visits for my own moral support. He isn't going to be able to walk our girls down the aisle or spin me around on the dance floor while singing PYT to me. But I want my daughters to know and remember the amazing person, husband, and father he was. The kind of man that wanted to teach the future generations to be better and keep them from making his own mistakes. He always liked working and doing projects to improve kids' lives. He taught us all valuable lessons about life and sports through his NBA career, his books, his show Detail, and his Punies podcast series. And we're so thankful he left those lessons and stories behind for us. He was thoughtful and wrote the best love letters and cards, and Gigi had his wonderful ability to express her feelings into paper and make you feel her love through her words. She was thoughtful like him. They were so easy to love. Everyone naturally gravitated towards them. They were funny, happy, silly, and they loved life. They were so full of joy and adventure. God knew they couldn't be on this earth without each other. He had to bring them home to heaven together. Babe, you take care of our Gigi. And I got Nani, Bibi, and Coco. We're still the best team. We love and miss you, Boo Boo and Gigi. May you both rest in peace and have fun in heaven until we meet again one day. We love you both and miss you forever and always. Mommy.
The speaker from whom we are about to hear was very special to the Bryant family. She is their dear friend, who is also a 4-time Olympic gold medalist, a 3-time WNBA champion, 3-time NCAA champion, the WNBA's all-time leading scorer. And if that isn't enough to convince you that she's one of the best of all time, Kobe gave her the greatest honor of all. He nicknamed her after himself. Please welcome the White Mamba, Diana Taurasi.
My name is Diana Taurasi. Thanks, Jimmy, you stole my first joke. I am the White Mamba. I would first likely to offer my deepest condolences to all the families who lost a loved one. In 1996, I was a lanky, awkward freshman in high school, obsessively shooting night after night in my driveway. On the nights the Lakers played, I wouldn't miss a second of the game. Every time out, every commercial, I run to the front yard to imitate my favorite Laker, Kobe. On a few lucky occasions, my dad would come home from work. He was a metal sheet worker in Los Angeles, and he'd come home with Laker tickets. Watching Kobe play at the Great Western Forum as a rookie made this little girl believe she could be a Laker one day. It was like getting to know myself every single day. He made it okay to play with an edge that borderlined crazy. Early onset Mamba mentality was in full effect. Years later, when I spent time with Kobe at the 2008 Olympics, I learned firsthand that it just wasn't limited to the basketball court. His competitive fire ran through his veins, just like many of us today. Every single workout, I end the same way, with the Kobe game winner. 3 hard dribbles going right, left foot plant pivot, Swing right leg through, elevate, square up, follow through. 5 in a row and I got to go home. It's that exact same shot that won us a championship in Phoenix in 2014. Kobe's willingness to do the hard work and make the sacrifice every single day inspired me and resonated with the city of Los Angeles. We struggled together, we grew together, we celebrated victories together. The same passion we all recognized in Kobe, obviously Gigi inherited. Her skill was undeniable at an early age. I mean, who has a turn-away fadeaway jumper at 11? LeBron barely got it today. But it was her curiosity about the game that was pushing her to pick up the basketball every single day. Gigi was in the midst of the best times as a basketball player's career. No responsibilities, no expectations, just basketball with your best friends. Every weekend was a new adventure, an opportunity to learn how to work and grow together as a unit. As a young kid, there's nothing you looked forward to more than long, hot summer days in the gym with your homies. The same way Kobe inspired a generation of basketball players, Gigi in turn Kobe's interest in coaching and teaching the game. I'm sure I'm not the only one who received a text from Kobe asking what drills they were doing when they were 13. Gigi in many ways represents the future of women's basketball. A future where a young woman aspires to play in the WNBA, the same way I wanted to be a Laker. Gigi already had goals to play for UConn. That in itself showed her fearless mentality. She represents a time where a young girl doesn't need permission to play. Her skill would command respect. The last time I saw Gigi, the Mambas were in Phoenix for a big AU tournament. Kobe brought them to the locker room to watch practice. I always remember the look on Gigi's face. It was a look of excitement, a look of belonging, a look of fierce determination. As a daughter, a sister, wife, and mother, we embrace Vanessa, Natalia, Bianca, and Capri. We promise to carry Gigi's legacy. Kobe y Gigi están en el corazón de Los Ángeles, y Los Ángeles nunca mueren. Te queremos mucho.
Just as her father was to our next speaker was to Gianna. Mentors know no gender or race. They just know they're here to help others. And one of Gianna's most impactful teachers and friends was Sabrina Ionescu. Following her appearance here this morning, she'll fly back to the Bay Area to face Stanford, undoubtedly with thoughts of her time here ever present in her mind. Please welcome NCAA all-time leader in points, assist, and three-point field goals, Sabrina Ionescu.
Growing up, I only knew one way to play the game of basketball: fierce, with obsessive focus. I was unapologetically competitive. I wanted to be the best. I loved the work, even when it was hard, especially if it was hard. I knew I was different, that my drive was different. I grew up watching Kobe Bryant, game after game, ring after ring, living his greatness without apology. I wanted to be just like him, to love every part of the competition, to be the first to show up and the last to leave, to love the grind, to be your best when you don't feel your best, and make other people around you the best version of themselves. and to wake up and do it again the next day. So that's what I did. Wake up, grind, and get better. Wake up, grind, and get better. A year ago, my team, Oregon, was playing at USC. The morning of the game, our coaches told us that there was a surprise for the day. I was thinking Nike sent us some new shoes or swag or something. The game starts, and shortly after, Kobe walks in with his daughter, Gianna, and 2 of her teammates. They sat courtside while my jaw dropped. They watched the entire game, and that was the first time I met Kobe. Kobe, Gigi, and her teammates came into the locker room after the game. He congratulated us on the win that day in our season up to that point, but said, and I'll never forget, "Don't shoot yourselves in the foot." He meant don't settle, to keep grinding, control what you can. The national championship wasn't far, and our goal was to win it all. I remember Gigi, excited and smiling in the locker room. I'd always watch a ton of film of her playing basketball. She had a fadeaway better than mine. I asked her where she wanted to play ball in college, and she said UConn. She had the will and determination to be able to play wherever she wanted, and if she wanted to go there, I wanted her there as well. She and her teammates hung out with us for a while, starstruck and a little shy, but always observing. Whichever school she would come to choose, it didn't matter. If I represented the present of the women's game, Gigi was the future, and Kobe knew it. So we decided to build a future together. I worked out twice with Gigi over the summer. I'd gone down to help Kobe coach his team. Gigi had so much of her dad's skill set. You could tell the amount of hours they spent in the gym, practicing her moves. She smiled all the time, but when it was game time, she was ready to kill. Her demeanor changed almost instantly when the whistle blew. I remember one time someone grabbed her jersey and she sort of just knocked him down and then stepped right over him. Me and Kobe looked at each other, smiling, and he goes, "I don't know where she learned that from." I laughed and said, "I do." You can't teach that, and definitely not at her age. Kobe was right. She had it. I love watching how hard she worked and how much her teammates loved her, but also her own desire to be great. She always wanted to learn, to go to every game she could. College, NBA, WNBA, Kobe was helping her with that because he saw it in her, just like he saw it in me. His vision for others is always bigger than what they imagine for themselves. His vision for me was way bigger than my own. More importantly, he didn't just show up in my life and leave, he stayed. We kept in touch, always texting, calls, game visits. I'd drop a triple-double and have a text from him, a double triple-double I see with a flex emoji. Another game, another text. Yo, beast mode, or easy money. I felt some pressure early on in the season, and he wrote to me, "Be you. It's been good enough, and that will continue to be good enough." He taught me his step back. He told me that if I could bring that to my game, it'd be over for any defender trying to guard me. He told me how high my arc needed to be on my shot, how to angle my foot, which leg to kick out, how much power to push off. Real sharpness comes without effort, he said. He was giving me the blueprint. He was giving Gigi the same blueprint. He united us. He made it so that the outsiders who outworked everyone else, who were driven to be just a little bit different every single day, to make those around them, behind them, and above them a little bit better every single day. And they weren't the exception, they were the rule. I wanted to be a part of the generation that changed basketball for Gigi and her teammates, where being born female didn't mean being born behind, where greatness wasn't divided by gender. You have too much to give to stay silent. That's what he said, that's what he believed, that's what he lived. Through Gigi, through me, through his investment in women's basketball. That was his next great act, a girl dad. Basketball in many ways was just a metaphor. I still text him even though he's not here. Thank you for everything. The rest is for you. Rest easy, my guy. The last one I sent him said, "I miss you. May you rest in peace, my dear friend." The texts go through, but no response. It still feels like he's there on the other end, that the next time I pick up my phone, he would have hit me back. Sometimes I find myself still waiting. It's so strange to describe him or Gigi in the past tense. You don't get used to that. No one tells you that about grief. The week after the accident, I was in Colorado. I had a game, and like I do before every game, I prayed. This time I was thinking about Kobe and Gigi. His voice is still in my head, even if his body is not on this earth. And all I wanted was a sign that in some way he still heard me too. I looked off into the sky, and there it was, a beautiful golden sunset, the boldest yellow, Lakers yellow, and further in the distance, a helicopter. There was my sign that he will forever be with me. I heard his voice in my head, the last line from one of his books. Walk until the darkness is a memory and you become the sun on the next traveler's horizon. Today may feel like darkness. He was, in so many ways, a sun, beaming, radiating, fixed in the sky. I ask each of you, every girl dad, every human here with a voice, a platform, and a heart, to not let his sun set. Shine for us, for our sport where he once did. Invest in us with the same passion and drive and respect and love as he did his own daughter. In the end, she was a sun just starting to rise, and God did she glow. May their light forever shine. Kobe and Gigi, I'll love you forever. Thank you.
Among the many dreams that the lovely Gianna would have realized in her life was that of playing for one of the greatest women's collegiate basketball teams in history, the Huskies of UConn. One of the highlights of her and her father's lives was a visit they made to the campus in March 2019. Here today to speak on his friendship with both of them is the 11-time NCAA championship coach of the Huskies, Geno Auriemma.
There's some amazing women in this room, aren't there? And you just heard from three of them. I'm Geno Auriemma, and I'm the coach of the UConn women's basketball program. And a lot of people are going to talk about basketball today. And I don't know that that's why I'm here. I'm not here for the basketball part. I tried to write a long, flowing speech about basketball, and I can't do it. There's too many thoughts in my head ever since Vanessa asked me to speak. Too many things that made me realize more that I'm here as a father, not as a basketball coach. And us Italians, as these just showed you, we're very, very emotional people. Right, Mike? He's half Italian. So the thoughts that I started to have after I was asked to speak were obviously about all the people that were on board. And if you're a father, a grandfather, you feel a different kind of emotion when there are children involved. Because this is always about the children. We've lived our lives. We have a little bit left. They're just starting their lives. And then my next thought came to the original team that Kobe was responsible for. Natalia, Bianca, Capri, Vanessa. Because we're always teammates, you know? We're always on a team. Sometimes it's a big team, sometimes it's a small team. And that's the most important team. And Kobe and I shared some history. He started in Italy, went to Philadelphia, and then went to the limelight and the lights and glamour of LA. I was born in Philadelphia, went to Philly, and went to the cows up in stores. That was a joke because there's no lights and there's no glitz and glamour in Storrs, Connecticut. And how ironic that he would talk to me about coaching. The uncoachable one wants to talk about coaching. Probably the most uncoachable player in the NBA during his career wants to know about coaching. And I wanted to know why. He said, I'm coaching my daughter's team. I said, oh my God, that poor kid. So when I watched highlights of her playing, and on about the third or fourth time she touched the ball, Gianna passed it when she was open. I thought, she's not listening to her father. So he would call and say, what kind of defensive drills should I do? We have practice tonight. We're going to work on defense. What do you think is the most important thing in teaching man-to-man? Further proof, he never listened to one word any of his coaches told him. So I tried to explain to him. I said, Kobe, they're 13 years old. I think you ought to just say, hey, you know, see the kid with the ball, try not to let her go by you, and see if you're guarding the other guys, hey, see the kid with the ball over there, don't let her throw the ball to your guy. Keep it kind of simple, you know? He said, no, I want to know, like, what are the rotations when they drive? I said, come on, come on, come on. So these are the conversations that we have both as basketball people and as dads who have ever coached their kids, if you've ever been in that situation, like a lot of people here in this room probably have been. And I remember when Gigi came, as you saw in that video, she came to our the very first game that she came to, and she came into the locker room. And here she is. And the look on her face, the smile, the way her eyes just took everything in, and how excited she was to be around, in her mind, royalty. It's ironic. Her father's royalty. And she's excited to be around royalty that looks just like what she wants to be. And the most impressive thing about that point in time was how Kobe stepped as far back as he could. So anyone taking pictures, anyone there would not know that this was Kobe Bryant's daughter. This was her moment. This is her time to shine. This was her time to experience all the things that he's experienced his whole life. He was being dad. He wasn't being Kobe Bryant. And he was allowing Gigi to be Gigi, not Kobe Bryant's daughter. In today's day and age, that's a hell of a thing for parents to be able to do. I'm going to leave you with just two things. We got a letter. Oh, I got to tell you about, you didn't see it, but she did meet the Oregon Ducks women's basketball team. And they all gathered around and said, you want to take a picture? And everybody ran over, and Gigi goes, nah, I'm good. She knew where her heart was. And you know that little sarcasm, I'm good. And when they came to UConn and they sat behind the bench, and there's dad bringing his daughter to a game, and they have their shirts on, and she's got this coat on, and she has her hat on, and she's just a little kid at a game. And again, I felt more like a dad than I felt as a basketball coach, because I've done that with my kids. And lastly, number 24, number 8, and number 2. Those are basketball numbers. Those are numbers in the past. Those are numbers that we're not going to get back. What we do have is today how many numbers of kids like Diana have been inspired to do more to work harder, to strive for more. And the numbers we also don't have is how many numbers of kids in the future, how many women are going to be inspired by Gigi's life, how many fathers are inspired by Kobe to be fathers, to really be fathers, the way a father's supposed to be. In this room, there is an incredible amount of talent. In this room is maybe the greatest collection of talent that I've ever been around. But in this room, there's a family, and there's still a team back home, and they still have a great coach. And I'm going to be rooting for that team from here on in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. Now I want to play for a UConn women's basketball team. Our next speaker is the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers. Before that, he was Kobe's agent, and most notably for our purposes today, he is one of Kobe's closest and best friends and godfather to Gigi. Please welcome Rob Pelinka.
The world knows Kobe as a basketball legend, but I've been blessed for 20 years to know him as so much more. The Kobe I know had three unique sides that I hope to quickly honor today. Kobe the best friend, Kobe the dad, and Kobe the husband. I will start with Kobe the best friend. Do you remember where you were on that foggy, sunless morning of January 26 when the axis of the world seemed to shift forever for all of us? I was in Sunday church with my family. My phone was deep in the pocket of my jeans when I felt the familiar text buzz. For a second, I ignored the notification because I was in church. But for some reason, with this text, I felt a sudden urge to check my phone. I slipped it out of my jeans and discovered the text was from Kobe. There was nothing uncharacteristic or unfamiliar about this. For the last 2 decades, Kobe and I talked or texted every single day, because that's what best friends do. In that moment, my instincts were to put the phone down and get back to the preacher's sermon, but a gentle, otherworldly nudge compelled me to open the text, so I did. I quickly saw that Kobe was asking me if I happened to know a certain baseball agent based in Southern California. Since Kobe's question didn't have any urgency to it, I decided I'd wait until after church to respond. But then again, there was a gentle nudge. I grabbed my phone and texted Kobe back that I had seen the baseball agent at a Lakers game just the other night and was happy to help him with whatever he wanted. It was now just past 9:30. Kobe texts back explaining his desire to help a friend of his secure a baseball agency internship for one of his young daughters. Kobe vouched for the girl's character, intellect, and work ethic. He clearly wanted to champion a bright future for her. I text Kobe right back and said I would put a plan in motion to help him get that done. A handful of minutes later, Kobe and Gianna and 7 other beautiful souls ascended into heaven. Kobe had been texting me from the helicopter. The girl in that text chain that he was wanting to help so badly was Lexi Altobelli, the surviving daughter of Coach John Altobelli, who was also on the helicopters. Kobe's last human act was heroic. He wanted to use his platform to bless and shape a young girl's future. Hasn't Kobe done that for all of us? Kobe was literally the best friend anyone could ask for. He always championed and passionately celebrated the accomplishments of others and downplayed his own. The man who had won multiple NBA titles, MVPs, and an Oscar would buzz with excitement when someone he loved would reach even a simple goal. With any achievement, Kobe was always the first to call. This was one of his greatest gifts as a friend and something I will forever miss. There's one story that shows this beautiful side to Kobe. As Vanessa shared, in the years following his retirement, Kobe was often one of the first carpools to pick up his daughters from school. With Kobe in pole position, my kids who attended the same school also got to see him often. Every time they would see him, he would greet them with an enthusiasm if they had just won Student of the Year. The other day, my 9-year-old daughter, Emery, had big tears in her eyes because she was so badly missing Uncle Kobe and Gigi. When I asked her why, she said, "Daddy, whenever Kobe would see me, he would run to me and scoop me up in his giant arms and raise me high above his head. Kobe always made me feel like I was queen of the world." Kobe had a depth of care for people that is unparalleled. He made every moment magical, as if it was living a fantasy novel. This was the case when my family and the Bryants went on a camping, or I should say glamping trip to Montana. We canoed and rode horses, went fly fishing and river rafting, and rode on a stagecoach to a campfire dinner under the stars. At each turn, Kobe made everything an adventure, especially for the kids. And of course, with all the wilderness activities we did, they had to be done to the nth degree. If it was fly fishing, we had to learn to tie our own flies and fish standing in the stream with heavy wader boots on. No shortcuts. Kobe's enthusiasm and joy for all things life made that trip one for a lifetime. Another remarkable friendship quality of Kobe's is that he mastered the art of making the things his friends loved, things that he loved. When I got the Lakers GM job, Kobe would often say that my life and his life had flip-flopped. Instead of him, I was now the one with the regimented Lakers schedule of practices, games, and road trips. I was now the one daily commuting up the 405 from the OC to LA. On the flip side, Kobe was home chilling in Newport Beach, doing all his Kobe Inc. work from his favorite spot in the world. Having lived the demands of the NBA for 20 years, Kobe understood the toll it would take on my family time. So he and Vanessa would regularly check in with my wife and kids to make sure everything was good, and even celebrate holidays like Halloween with them. That's what friends do. Kobe lived to make other people's lives better, all the way up until his final text. The day after Kobe was gone, I was at home and feeling totally lost. I couldn't imagine life without the strength and guidance of my best friend. As part of my grieving, I felt an overwhelming need to connect with something tangible that represented our friendship, a picture, a voicemail, something that Kobe left behind. My wife reminded me of the Wizenard book Kobe authored and had recently given to me. I went upstairs and found the book in my library and opened it, and on the inside cover, he had penned with his own pen these words: "To RP, my brother, may you always remember to enjoy the road, especially when it's a hard one. Love, Kobe." Kobe wrote these words to me just a few months ago. Now I realize that perhaps they were meant for us all. Kobe, my brother, this road is so hard, and I don't know how to journey on without you. But I know you want us to keep going, and our memories with you will give us strength to somehow move forward. And as you wrote, even in the valley of unimaginable loss, we will somehow find a way to have joy. On to Kobe's next side, Kobe the dad. When Kobe retired from playing basketball, people would often ask me how I thought he would fuel his competitive drive. The answers came in a couple surprising ways. The first was in a new sport, tennis. Right after Kobe stopped playing for the Lakers, we took up playing tennis at a local private club in Newport Beach. We began having epic one-on-one battles. I picked the game up faster than him, so early on he would often fall behind. And that did not sit well with Kobe at all. So what does the Black Mamba do? The next few times I arrived at the club, there he was waiting for me already with a full sweat. As his tennis skills exploded, I learned that he had secretly reached out to the club's pro for private lessons and didn't share any of it with me. Typical Mamba mentality. We loved our matches and stories and memories we would share on those beautiful California days. It was during one of those tennis conversations that the other newfound competitive love of his became so clear: coaching Gianna's youth basketball team. Kobe talked constantly about his dream to create the best youth girls basketball team on the planet, and he did. It started with his individual work with Gigi and quickly spread to all the girls on Team Mamba. Long practices every night, precision in everything, the individual drills, the set plays, the triangle cuts, the defensive schemes. It was all Kobe's masterpiece. I will never forget when Kobe challenged my 12-year-old son's all-star team to a game against his Mamba team. Yes, girls versus boys. Kobe hosted the game at a local high school gym with refs, timekeepers, and all. He coached from the bench but rarely said anything. Instead, the Mambas were so well prepared they functioned like a Swiss watch. Everything seemed scripted and versed. Our boys got smashed. Kobe and Gigi took it all in stride. That's what the Mambas do. Kobe's love for coaching grew and grew and grew. I remember when Kobe turned 40, to celebrate, our families flew to Cabo to spend a long weekend at one of the most beautiful ocean estates in the world. What was the one thing Kobe wanted to do in this heavenly setting? Watch Team Mamba game film with Gigi and me, of course, breaking down every play. Kobe's love and passion for this team was the perfect representation of how deeply he loved his daughters. At the center of all this was his precious Gigi, whom my wife and I are blessed to be the godparents of. From the moment Kristen and I dressed Gigi in her pure white lace baptismal dress as an infant, she kicked and wiggled her way into our world like only a Taurus can. Gigi was an incredible combination of strength, courage, grace, and dignity with a witty sense of humor that was simply captivating. She smiled with her glittering eyes and was literally everything in the world that is good. In our home, Gianna and her sister Natalia have become the gold standard for character and kindness. Gigi was love and grace, and like her dad, her life was about blessing others. Simply put, Gigi was Kobe's pride and joy on the basketball court, and you could see it with every move she made. If basketball was the love Kobe shared with Gigi, with Nani, Kobe shared a love for storytelling. The two of them seemed to live out scenes of the most beautiful movie ever made. Kobe and Nani had a common language built upon joy and inspiration. They could remember and recite movie lines and sing Disney songs, always filling a room with smiles and laughter. Kobe and Nani created their own soundtrack for life, it seemed. And in it, you could often find them dancing their days away together. Around young children, Kobe was like Santa Claus dressed in everyday clothes. Kobe had an unmatched energy to ignite kids and make them smile and laugh and love. In my years as his agent, I was told he was one of the most granted Make-A-Wish celebrities of our generation. When Kobe met a Make-A-Wish kid, it was as if heaven came down to the real world. This exuberant sense of play captured the way Kobe would love and father his daughter, Bibi. Like Kobe, Bibi is a child of wonderment. Every moment of Bibi seems born out of joy and excitement and awe. And Kobe had an ability to enter into that world with her. Kobe also had an energy level that would match Bibi's. When the two of them would play, I imagined a world coming alive where toy animals would dance, teacups would sing, and rainbows would shine. I had never seen anything like the two of them playing together. If you think Kobe's hands were good with the basketball, you should see how his hands were with his daughter, Coco. He literally had the golden touch. Watching him cuddle and put Coco to sleep and caress her made you realize just how tender Kobe was. He is literally the baby whisperer, and in his arms is where you would find Coco, always content with peace. Kobe would never miss a detail of his daughter's lives. When he traveled with me for work, he would spend hours on the phone, connecting and listening to the stories of their days. He just loved his girls, and there was nothing in the world that meant more to him. I remember being in the tunnel with Kobe, right over there, the last time he would wear his purple and gold. Kobe fist bumped each of his daughters before he ran out the tunnel, and in Mamba speak said something like, "Here's what you do when the world tells you you can't do it anymore." Kobe's 60 points and win that night is only outshined by his love for his family as the world's greatest girl dad. Kobe's final side, the husband. When God made Kobe, the next great act of his was to fashion Vanessa. I know this because they are matched perfectly together, and I've had a front row seat to being witness to their love for 20 years. I remember all the way back to their wedding day in 2001. In typical Kobe fashion, he wanted to master every detail of that day to reflect his love for Vanessa. One of the things he was most excited about was carrying Vanessa in his arms over the threshold of their home as a husband and wife for the first time. Vanessa brought out Kobe's romantic side like nobody else in the world could. He loved to celebrate holidays with her, her birthday, anniversary, and especially Valentine's Day. Often he would call me to brainstorm his incredible ideas for special gifts and romantic occasions with her. He even loved to write poems and letters to her and make them into beautiful keepsake books. Simply put, Kobe's love for Vanessa was the energy for his life. One particular story captures the depth of Kobe's love for Vanessa. There was a stretch of days when work travel was causing Kobe to be away from Vanessa for longer than he wanted. He called me to explain how hard this stretch was for him. One night on the phone, Kobe noticed there was a grand piano in the hotel suite he was staying in. He sat by a tall window under the moonlit sky. During one of our calls, he shared an idea with me. He said he hadn't been sleeping much at night because he was missing V and the girls so much. While he was away, he wanted to live in his love for Vanessa, so at night, under the moonlit sky, he vowed to teach himself, by ear, to play the first movement of Beethoven's Moonlit Sonata. When he told me this, I thought, there's no way. I knew he wasn't a trained musician, and that was a really difficult piece of music to play. But Kobe's passion and love for Vanessa, combined with the patience and focus that only the Black Mamba has, made this seemingly impossible goal a reality. That next morning, Kobe called and played me the first few measures. The next morning, more. By the end of the week, he had the entire piece mastered, and he played it for me over the phone without a mistake. In my heart, I knew that moment was one of Kobe's grandest feats for his deepest love. Kobe had mastered one of the greatest piano movements ever written as a symbol of one of the most beautiful loves the world has ever seen. To close, I will say this. Just as the sun lights the moon to guide us through the night, Kobe and Gigi will continue to shine light in all of us. But unlike the sun, Kobe and Gigi's fuel will never, ever burn out because their light is eternal. Yes, the axis of our world shifted that frightful morning a few weeks back, but with Kobe and Gigi's moonlight, we will never have to live in the darkness of night again. We will all journey on until one day we will be in heaven together again, and this time, it will be forever. I love you, dear Kobe and precious Gigi. We love you, Vanessa, Nani, BB, Coco, and we are here for you with great care until the end of our days. Ladies and gentlemen, in a moment, here to play tribute with her own version of Beethoven's Moonlit Sonata, Miss Alicia Keys.
You are the faith in my heart. You light my way in the dark. ultimate star. You pick me up from above. Your unconditional love takes me to paradise. I belong to you, and you belong to me too. You make my life complete. You make me feel so sweet. You make me feel so divine. Your soul and mine are entwined. Before you I was blind, but since I've opened my eyes, and with you there's no disguise, so I could open up my mind. I always loved you from the start, but I could not figure out that I had to do it every day. So I put away the fight. Now I'm gonna live my life, giving you the most in every way. Oh, I belong to you, and you belong to me too.
It was Grammy Sunday when we all learned about the tragic loss of Kobe, Gianna, and their group. Here at Staples, we were all preparing for the Grammy Awards, and so was our host, Alicia Keys. As the sad news settled in, it became clear that as the world began to mourn them, here at the house that Kobe built, we had to do more than that. And thanks to the inner strength of Alicia Keys, she became a messenger of comfort to the people gathered here on that evening, as well as to the rest of the world. She's here tonight to perform one of Kobe and Vanessa's favorite musical numbers, the immortal Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven. Please welcome Alicia Keys.
Philly.
Tanti amici lo conoscevano, ci hanno giocato, poi lui si sentiva molto di Reggio.
From Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania.
But this kid right here, mark my words, is going to be unbelievable.
4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, taking 500 shots.
How good is this kid?
Back-to-back titles for the Los Angeles Lakers, a three-peat and a sweep.
The 4th NBA championship.
The LA Lakers, the 2010 NBA champions.
And that was the first time I knew of your greatness.
You would think about what should I do to motivate this guy, this guy, this guy.
81-point game. Olympic champion, the United States of America.
Falls down, and he is hurting. But the Lakers eat him at the free throw line. Got it.
A 60-point game. What an exit for number 24.
And the Oscar goes to Dear Basketball.
Tienes que trabajar cada día para ese sueño.
He didn't just show up at games. He was deeply involved in that.
Coaching young kids is the most important thing we can do. You couldn't have written this.
I have to believe that Kobe right now is looking down from heaven and going, I am determined to learn to play Moonlight Sonata better than Alicia Keys. Poor Chick Hearn is sitting there listening to it all. In 1996, our next speaker faced an 18-year-old Kobe Bryant on the court for the first time. Midway through the game, while playing, Kobe asked him for tips on his jump shot. Kobe scored 33 points that game against his boyhood idol. Michael scored 36 and won the game too. Please welcome Michael Jordan.
I would say good morning, but it's afternoon. I'm grateful to Vanessa and the Bryant family for the opportunity to speak today. I'm grateful to be here to honor Gigi and celebrate the gift that Kobe gave us all. What he accomplished as a basketball player, as a businessman, and a storyteller, and as a father. In the game of basketball, in life, as a parent, Kobe left nothing in the tank. He left it all on the floor. Maybe it surprised people that Kobe and I were very close friends, but we were very close friends. Kobe was my dear friend. He was like a little brother. Everyone always wanted to talk about the comparisons between he and I. I just wanted to talk about Kobe. You know, all of us have brothers and sisters, little brothers, little sisters who, for whatever reason, always tend to get in your stuff, your closet, your shoes, everything. It was a nuisance, if I can say that word. But that nuisance turned into love over a period of time, just because the admiration that they had for you as big brothers or big sisters. The questions, the wanting to know every little detail about life that they were about to embark on. He used to call me, text me, 11:30, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, talking about post-up moves, footwork, and sometimes the triangle. At first, it was an aggravation. But then it turned into a certain passion. This kid had passion like you would never know. And it's an amazing thing about passion. If you love something, if you have a strong passion for something, you would go to the extreme to try to understand or try to get it. Either ice cream, Cokes, hamburgers, whatever you have a love for. If you have to walk, you would go get it. If you have to beg someone, you would go get it. What Kobe Bryant was to me was the inspiration that someone truly cared about the way I played the game or the way that he wanted to play the game. He wanted to be the best basketball player that he could be. And as I got to know him, I wanted to be the best big brother that I could be. To do that, you had to put up with the aggravation, the late night calls, or the dumb questions. I took great pride as I got to know Kobe Bryant that he was just trying to be a better person, a better basketball player. We talked about business. We talked about family. We talked about everything. And he was just trying to be a better person. Now he's got me. I'll have to look at another crime meme for the next. I told my wife I wasn't going to do this because I didn't want to see that for the next 3 or 4 years. That is what Kobe Bryant does to me. I'm pretty sure Vanessa and his friends all can say the same thing. He knows how to get to you in a way that affects you personally, even though if he's being a pain in the ass. But you ever have a sense of love for him in the way that he can bring out the best in you. And he did that for me. I remember maybe a couple of months ago, he sends me a text. And he's saying, I'm trying to teach my daughter some moves. And I don't know what I was thinking or what I was working on. But what were you thinking about when you were as you were growing up, trying to work on your moves? I said, what age? He says, 12. I said, 12, I was trying to play baseball. He sends me a text back saying, laughing my ass off. And this was at 2 o'clock in the morning. But the thing about him was we could talk about anything that related to basketball, but we can talk about anything that related to life. And we, as we grow up in life, rarely have friends that we can have conversations like that. Well, it's even rare when you can grow up against adversaries and have conversations like that. I went and saw Phil Jackson in 1999 or maybe 2000. I don't know when Phil was here in LA. And I walk in and Kobe's sitting there. And the first thing, I'm in a suit. First thing Kobe said, "Did you bring your shoes?" No, I wasn't thinking about playing. But his attitude to compete and play against someone he felt like he could enhance and improve his game with. To me, that's what I loved about the kid. Absolutely loved about the kid. No matter where he saw me, it was a challenge. And I admired him because his passion, you rarely see someone who's looking and trying to improve each and every day, not just in sports, but as a parent, as a husband. I am inspired by what he's done and what he shared with Vanessa and what he's shared with his kids. I have a daughter who's 30 I became a grandparent. And I have two twins. I have twins at 6. I can't wait to get home to become a girl dad and to hug them and to see the love and the smiles that they bring to us as parents. He taught me that just by looking at this tonight, looking at how he responded and reacted with the people that he actually loved. These are the things that we will continue to learn from Kobe Bryant. To Vanessa, Natalia, Bianca, Capri, my wife and I will keep you close in our hearts and our prayers. We will always be here for you, always. I also want to offer our condolences and support to all the families affected by this enormous tragedy. Kobe gave every last ounce of himself to whatever he was doing. After basketball, he showed a creative side to himself that I didn't think any of us knew he had. In retirement, he seemed so happy. He found new passions, and he continued to give back as a coach in his community. More importantly, he was an amazing dad, amazing husband, who dedicated himself to his family and who loved his daughters with all his heart. Kobe never left anything on the court. And I think that's what he would want for us to do. No one knows how much time we have. That's why we must live in the moment. We must enjoy the moment. We must reach and see and spend as much time as we can with our families and friends and the people that we absolutely love. To live in the moment means to enjoy each and every one that we come in contact with. When Kobe Bryant died, a piece of me died. And as I look in this arena and across the globe, a piece of you died, or else you wouldn't be here. Those are the memories that we have to live with and we learn from. I promise you, from this day forward, I will live with the memories of knowing I had a little brother that I tried to help in every way I could. Please rest in peace, little brother.
There have been many great duos in the history of the NBA, but none better or more fun to follow than Kobe and Shaq. They won 3 titles in a row together. Their teammates for the city of Los Angeles. And their names will be linked for all time. Please welcome Shaquille O'Neal.
When I've imagined speaking to people about Kobe Bryant, I usually picture in the context of Hall of Fame induction, or as a guest speaker at one of Kobe's events. But never ever could I have imagined that I'd be here today. All of you be devastated also.
This is Agent Auriemma along with Michelle Vias here in the NBC4 studios right now, as we're obviously experiencing some technical difficulties at Staples Center in the middle of this memorial for Kobe Bryant. We work to iron out those issues and get you back to that memorial as quickly as possible. But as you saw, Shaquille O'Neal there now addressing the crowd after a very emotional moment and speech. And thoughts from Michael Jordan,
and a loving son
who
and
likened
brother.
Kobe Bryant
was a loyal friend
to
and
his
a
little
true
brother. I
Renaissance
believe
man.
we do have the...
As many of you know, Kobe and I had a very complex relationship throughout the years. But not unlike another leadership duo, John Lennon and Paul McCartney, whose creative rivalry led to some of the greatest music of all time. Kobe and I pushed one another to play some of the greatest basketball of all time, and I am proud that no other team has accomplished what the three-peat Lakers have done since Shaq and the Kobe Lakers did it. And yes, sometimes like immature kids, we argued, we fought, we bantered or insulted each other with offhanded remarks, our feud. But make no mistake, even when the folks thought we were on bad terms, when the cameras were turned off, he and I would throw a wink at each other and say, let's go whoop some ass. We never took it seriously. In truth, Kobe and I always maintained a deep respect and a love for one another. The day Kobe gained my respect was the guys were complaining. I said, Shaq, Kobe's not passing the ball. I said, I'll talk to him. I said, Kobe, there's no... So I went back and told Rick and Big Shot Bob, I said, just get the rebound. He's not passing. Mamba, you were taken away from us way too soon. Your next chapter of life was just beginning, but now it's time for us to continue your legacy. You said yourself that everything negative, pressure, challenges, is all an opportunity for me to rise. So we now take that sage advice to now rise from anguish and begin with the healing. Just know that we got your back, little brother. I'll look after things down here. I'll be sure to teach Natalia, Bianca, and Baby Capri all your moves, and I promise I will not teach them my free throw techniques. But for now, I take comfort in the fact as we speak, Kobe and Gigi are holding hands, walking to the nearest basketball court. Kobe will show her some new Mamba moves today, and Gigi soon masters them. Kobe, your heaven's MVP. I love you, my man, till we meet again. Rest in peace, Kobe.
Thank you so much for tonight. But it's not. It's not about my jerseys that are hanging up there for me. It's about the jerseys that were hanging up there before. Without them, I couldn't be here today. They inspired me to play the game at a high level. And it's also about the next generation, embodying the spirit that exists in those jerseys up there and carrying this organization forward so that the next 20 years are better than the past 20 years. And that's what it's about. And then it's also about the fans. It's about family. It's about my wife, Vanessa. You guys don't know this, but my last game that we had here against the Utah Jazz, I was really tired. I got home and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I can do this thing. I got one more game left, but I don't have any legs. And she said, I want to show you something. I got a gift for you for your last game. And she proceeded to show me a row of retired jerseys from Baylor, from Magic, from Shaq, from Cap, all with personal messages signed to me, including from Michael Jordan, including from the great Bill Russell, including from the great Larry Bird. And when I saw that, I knew then that I had to turn it up. I had to turn it up. So thank you, baby, for being an inspiration to me. And lastly, our daughters, Natalia, Gianna, and Bianca. I hope that tonight is not, you guys know that, if you do the work, you work hard enough, dreams come true. Thank you guys so much. I love you. And, Mamba out.
Gentlemen, please welcome six-time Grammy Award winner, Christina Aguilera. Christina Aguilera. Thank you, Christina. That was beautiful. And in Italian as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Kobe, as you know, had big plans after basketball. He had many interests. One of them was film. One of them was the Mamba and Mambacita Foundation. He published books, but he wanted to make movies. He made a movie, and of course, because he is Kobe Bryant, the first movie he made won an Oscar. And this is Kobe's Academy Award-winning film called Dear Basketball. Well, there you have it. Thank you, Vanessa. We love you. We love your kids. We'll pray for you and for the Chester, Altobelli, Sobayan, and Mauser families. Please support the Mamba on 3 Fund. Please support the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation. It's what Kobe and Gigi would have wanted. Thank you for coming. And don't forget, work hard and hug the people you love. Good afternoon, everyone.
Jimmy Kimmel wrapping up a ceremony, Colleen, that lasted roughly 2 hours.
It did, Fred, and there were so many takeaways from this. It was very emotional, but it was also very uplifting. It's what Vanessa Bryant said she wanted from the beginning, a celebration of life for her husband and her daughter, both lost in that chopper crash 4 weeks ago. As we listen to the hymn as they're walking out here, there really were so many takeaways today.
There were indeed. You know, you were struck by the emotion of it. You were struck by the poignant comments. Shaq was wonderful. Michael Jordan was wonderful. And I enjoyed that they did it in a linear fashion. Mm-hmm. Early on, it was about Gianna, the loss of a daughter. And Vanessa, when she spoke, she started with Gianna and then went to Kobe. And the procession of speakers, first was Gianna, the loss of a child, and then the loss of a husband and a basketball legend.
And the one thing you could glean from listening to all of the people who spoke today is how much Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi were alike. I mean, Vanessa called her a daddy's girl. No doubt she loved her mother, but she was definitely a daddy's girl. And the one thing you could glean about Kobe Bryant, if you didn't know him personally, what you heard from everyone there, that he was the best. He brought out the best in everyone, and he really would do anything for anyone. I mean,
those stories about him texting people at 3 in the morning, asking for advice. The story about when he played in his first game, asking Michael Jordan during the game about his shot.
He scored 33 points. Michael Jordan scored 36. Probably the 2 highest scorers in that particular game.
You have to wonder that after a day like this, and it really was very well done. Jimmy Kimmel was terrific. Alicia Keys, Christina Aguilera, Beyonce. You have to wonder if now, after this, although for the family, it's going to take a very long time, for the community, for the city, for Southern California, will the healing begin?
And you wonder after watching this, and a lot of people were watching this in its entirety today, if people will actually live their lives differently. I mean, you think about what Kobe tried to do in his life after he played basketball. There was nothing he didn't try. Rob Pelinka talked about how they took up the game of tennis, and Rob was so much better than Kobe to begin with, but, you know, Kobe was never going to be number 2, so he took lessons. He learned to play Beethoven on the piano, and he was not musical. He didn't play the piano, but he learned it in segments. He was going to be the best at everything. But the other thing I thought was terrific was when the coach from UConn, the women's coach from UConn,
Geno Auriemma,
talked about how Kobe would bring his daughter around, that he would step back. For him, it was about her time to shine. She was in the limelight.
As the speakers began, we had not heard from Vanessa Bryant publicly.
Had not heard or seen her.
Had not seen her. And I have to tell you, as a father, watching her talk about her daughter was not only uplifting, but heartbreaking. She did a terrific job on stage in front of a worldwide audience, talking about something very, very personal. And she spoke on how her daughter Gigi will never get married.
I won't be able to tell her how gorgeous she looks on her wedding day. I'll never get to see my baby girl walk down the aisle, have a father-daughter dance with her daddy, dance on the dance floor with me, or have babies of her own. Gianna would have been an amazing mommy. She was very maternal ever since she was really little. Gigi would have most likely become the best player in the WNBA. She would have made a huge difference.
I have to tell you, listening to her, and you're a mom, you're a mom, listening to her say she will never see her little girl get married is absolutely devastating. And we said it before, you lose a husband or a wife, that hurts. You lose your kids. It is beyond belief.
She was talking about all the milestones. As you can see, the fans are coming out now. And, you know, I have to remind you that while we've been out here today, there have been a lot of spontaneous eruptions of emotion, people chanting Kobe. But the one thing we gleaned from Vanessa about Kobe was that he was her soulmate.
Yes.
She talked about how he was such a spectacular dad, that when he retired, he took over the carpool situation. She would show up an hour early at school to pick up the girls. One time he was late. That was the last time he was late, because after that, he was an hour and 20 minutes early every single day.
Here is Vanessa talking about Kobe.
Kobe was the MVP of girl dads, or MVD. He never left the toilet seat up. He always told the girls how beautiful and smart they are. He taught them how to be brave and how to keep pushing forward when things get tough. And when Kobe retired from the NBA, he took over dropping off and picking up our girls from school, since I was at home pregnant with Bianca and just recently home nursing Capri. When Kobe was still playing, I used to show up an hour early to be the first in line to pick up Natalia and Gianna from school, and I told him he couldn't drop the ball once he took over. He was late one time, and we most definitely let him know that I was never late.
That's the story I just told. It was one that stuck out in my mind, having been late to carpool on more than one occasion myself. But, you know, the other thing we heard about from everyone who stood up there today was how he was so devoted to the sport of women's basketball, how he would text Michael Jordan 2-3 o'clock in the morning, ask him what he was thinking about when he was 12 years old, what sort of moves he was into. The same thing with all the other players who stood up there. He was determined to put women's basketball more so on the map.
And the best women's basketball program in the country is UConn, and their coach is Geno Auriemma. Kobe befriended Geno because he wanted some tips on how to coach his daughter. And Vanessa invited Geno Auriemma to speak. Here he is.
Number 24, number 8, and number 2. Those are basketball numbers. Those are numbers in the past. Those are numbers that we're not going to get back. And the numbers we also don't have is how many numbers of kids in the future, how many women are going to be inspired by Gigi's life, how many fathers are inspired by Kobe to be fathers, to really be fathers, the way a father's supposed to be.
Now, we heard going in that fans inside would be receiving a couple of things, and we've seen some evidence of that. If we can shoot back at the crowd walking out, these are some of the T-shirts that have the family on the back. You've got Kobe, Gigi, and then on the front you see Kobe Bryant, the number 2, the infinity sign, 24. They also received lapel pins
yeah.
and booklets, the mementos of the occasion there. So
the program
3
continued
things.
their ticket.
And then you see all the people leaving. Every once in a while, you'll hear them start chanting Kobe. One of the other speakers who gave us a lot of insight into Kobe Bryant was the Lakers general manager, Rob Pelinka. He talked about how Kobe was a father and a friend, and talked about helping him as a young basketball player.
Yeah, remember that Rob Pelinka was Kobe's agent. Rob Pelinka was the godfather
for Gigi.
Gianna. And Rob Pelinka had not spoken publicly either, Colleen.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the first opportunity we had to hear from Rob Pelinka today.
I quickly saw that Kobe was asking me if I happened to know a certain baseball agent based in Southern California. Kobe had been texting me from the helicopter. The girl in that text chain that he was wanting to help so badly was Lexi Altobelli, the surviving daughter of Coach John Altobelli, who was also on the helicopters. Kobe's last human act was heroic. He wanted to use his platform to bless and shape a young girl's future.
And Colleen, that was a story we had not heard until today.
Correct. He added that Kobe had a depth and a care for everyone, and that was really evident today. Also, he talked about a book that Kobe had inscribed shortly before his death, and it said, and I wrote this down because it really struck me, enjoy the road, especially if it is a hard one.
Yeah, well, Kobe never shied away from the hard road. As a matter of fact, that's the road he normally took because of his work and his perseverance and his dedication. He wanted to take the hard road to get there.
You know, Fred, as we look back at the crowds pouring out of Staples Center right now, we've seen the crowds out here for the past 4 weeks. Something like 350,000 people have visited the area out here. But there's a different feeling coming from people out here today. They're not sad. It's more of an upbeat, emotional feeling than what we've seen in the past 4 weeks.
I think you nailed it. I think that is a very good observation. And if you were down here, you felt the sorrow at the beginning. And today, perhaps this has allowed people to heal, because it is very different. I remember walking through the plaza here, and it was as if you were attending a funeral. Just all the flowers and the people that came down. And there were walls up here. There were people who were allowed to write messages to Vanessa on. And they wrote all over the cement here, leaving messages of love and rest in peace.
And that's not to say this wasn't sad today.
Well,
I mean,
no.
Michael Jordan stood up, and it's the first time we've seen him. He had tears in his eyes, and he kind of smiled about that himself, saying, you know, my little brother did it to me. Because for 3 years, you'll probably see a picture of Michael Jordan emotional
another
at
meme.
A celebration of life.
You know, you said before we came on this morning, before all of this began, this was cathartic. And I think it was mission accomplished. Just standing here today, hearing the people cheer Kobe behind you. And there's a distinct difference if you're here and looking at the people's faces compared to the way it was a month ago. This was very important in the healing process.
Kobe Bryant is not in the Hall of Fame yet.
No, he was going in this year.
Okay.
Yeah, he would have found out. He is going in. And he would have found out All-Star Weekend. So the tragedy occurred before he was able to be a part of that. But they have renamed the MVP trophy of the All-Star game the Kobe Bryant trophy. And just listen for a moment. You can hear the people behind us cheering. You can hear the people calling Kobe. And from our vantage point, Elliot, can we see the shirts back there?
Yeah, it's like a...
If you can. There you go. Those are the shirts that were handed out today inside the memorial, the celebration of life. Everybody that went in got one of those Bryant jerseys, 2/24, and the infinity symbol in the middle. And now the crowd's starting to cheer Gigi. You talk about Michael Jordan, who really, I have to tell you, did an incredible job today. And he talked about how Kobe was his little brother.
What Kobe Bryant was to me was the inspiration that someone truly cared about the way I played the game or the way that he wanted to play the game. He wanted to be the best basketball player that he could be. And as I got to know him, I wanted to be the best big brother that I could be. To live in the moment means to enjoy each and every one that we come in contact with. When Kobe Bryant died, a piece of me died. And as I look in this arena and across the globe, a piece of you died, or else you wouldn't be here. Those are the memories that we have to live with and we learn from.
That is the man that Kobe Bryant idolized, Michael Jordan. And you can see behind us here, let's open up again and Elliot can pull back. I will tell you that these people are here not just to celebrate Kobe Bryant at this moment, but because they can't get out. I mean, the truth of the matter is, it is single file
all the way out
down to the corner. So it's going to take a while for people to get out because security has been very tight here today, and the crowd has been very orderly today.
You know, I want to talk a little bit more about Michael Jordan and what he said today. You know, he said Kobe brought out the best in everyone. He did admit in the beginning Kobe was a little aggravating. He would text him at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and he said, you know, he's kind of, he didn't use the word pesky, but that was the image that you conjured up from there. But he said, you know, I grew to love him like he was my little brother, and he left nothing in the tank. Now, you covered Kobe for all the championships and the Olympic gold medals. He never left anything in the tank, did he?
No, never. It wouldn't have been a remote possibility. When he stepped on the court, he was the ultimate competitor. In life, he was the ultimate competitor. And it's simple. He just believed you need to be the best at what you do every day of your life. And from a competitive standpoint, Jerry West told me a story. I said to Jerry West one time, and Kobe echoed this. I said, Jerry, what made you the player you were? He goes, well, it's simple. I was competitive. What do you mean? He goes, if you want to sit down right now and play cards and you beat me, we're going to play again. And if you beat me, we're going to play again. You want to play ping pong? If you beat me, we're going to play again. And we're going to play again. We will play till 4 in the morning until I beat you. Kobe was like that. That's just how he was wired. And that is a differentiation between a good player and one of the all-time greats. And that's something you can't teach.
You know, you talk about people not being able to get out, but people have not wanted to leave here. People came early, they lined up. Again, it's very cathartic when you're able to stand next to someone in a Laker jersey and you're of one mind. You're here for Kobe Bryant and Gigi Bryant.
There was a moment, and I think it was much anticipated, where Shaq got up to speak. And the reports for years had been that their relationship had been fractured given the way it ended for the two of them with the Lakers, and Jerry Buss ultimately making a decision and going with the younger Kobe Bryant and Shaq moving off. Now that relationship had been mended over the past year or so, And Shaq talked about what a student of the game Kobe Bryant was.
And believe me, Kobe was truly a gifted and intelligent student of the game. I remember him saying, these guys are playing checkers, and I'm out here playing chess. And I would say, I guess so, Kobe, I don't know how to play chess.
That's what we're talking about. There was a lot of levity throughout this today. I mean, you saw Jimmy Kimmel come on. He was very sad. Vanessa, I don't know how she was able to do that. I mean, what a position. She was able to stand up and speak so eloquently about her daughter.
Yeah.
She talked about, you know, really the hashtag daddy's girl, or girl daddy.
Girl daddy.
You know, she talked about that and how they were such a great team, a family team, the 4 daughters, the parents, and they really did everything together.
I was struck by that. I was struck by her sentiment that they're still a team. Two of the members are elsewhere, but they're still a team.
Well, they're together, is the way she looked at it. And there's great solace for her in the fact that they were able to use their faith. They're very Catholic. Kobe, I think, talked about that many, many times. They had been at Mass early in the morning before they got on the chopper. Let's talk a little bit as well about Rob Pelinka. He talked about how Kobe would do anything. He was getting a text that Sunday morning while he was at church from Kobe Bryant about, could you help me out with a favor for someone's daughter?
Yeah, I thought that was the most surprising moment, because that was a story we had not heard today. And it spoke to who Kobe Bryant was as they were going to play in that tournament. His thought was helping a friend and a friend's daughter. You see the fans filing out of Staples Center. Kim Tobin is now standing by as fans are filing past her on 9th and Fig. So let's go out to Kim right now. Kim.
Hey, you guys, we're a little bit closer to Staples right now. We're at about 11th and Fig, and you can see all of these people coming out who were at the celebration of life for Kobe and Gianna. So they actually got to attend. We've been talking to so many folks who've been coming out, seeing how emotional of an experience this was and how fortunate they feel to be one of the lucky ones who were picked to be inside that arena for this very special moment. So I want to bring in Monique now from Woodland Hills here. You were actually able to attend. Tell us what this process was like, because you didn't actually get tickets, but then your friend did.
Yeah, my friend actually got tickets and her brother wasn't able to join her today, so she texted me, and because I'm such a huge fan and wasn't able to get the tickets, it's just godsend, absolutely.
And what a special moment to be there. Can we see some of this? Is the pamphlet, the ticket? I'm sure things that you're going to cherish forever.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what do we have here?
We have the pamphlet, we have the ticket, that's section A, row 24, seat 2, and just the beautiful pictures.
How special of a moment to be able to be inside of there. We talked about, and we were sharing, and I feel like it's been the major reaction from people was seeing Vanessa Bryant up there and the strength that she had to speak. What was that like for you?
It was very emotional. As a mother and as a wife, just the thought of having to get up and be so strong in a time where it's very easy to get inside of yourself and not want to speak, it just shows to her strength and her character, and it's very beautiful. It was an amazing thing to see and listen to.
And to be here around, I mean, we see all of these folks streaming out of here. I mean, they are covered in their gold and purple. They have their Kobe jerseys on, their Kobe shirts. To be inside of the house that he built and to be there with all of these fellow fans, what was that like?
It's emotional, and it's powerful and it's beautiful all at the same time, because you feel the love and you see the love, and it's just an unexplainable feeling for sure.
And I'm sure this is something you're going to cherish for really the rest of your life here when you move on. When you think of the Black Mamba, when you think about all the things that he represented and so many of the stories that were shared there on stage, so many people said that he had so much inspiration in their lives day to day. I mean, what kind of things are you going to bring with you after this?
I think just the Mamba mentality in general, just getting up, doing the things that you don't want to do, knowing that that's what makes your dream, not when you hit your peaks.
That's beautiful. Monique, thank you so much. You guys, just another quick look, all the folks walking out of here. He attended the celebration of life, just walking away, a lot of them very emotional, feeling very blessed that they were able to be inside the arena for this special day. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Kim, thank you. Once again, we're looking at people filing out, and some of the crowd just behind us not wanting to leave at all here today. When they started, there was not a dry eye in the house. In fact, as I look around, there are about 1,000 media out here. The same could be said. You could drop a pin out here and hear it. People were so tuned in. It was the first time we saw Vanessa, other than her tweets and Instagram, in the past 4 weeks.
I was somewhat surprised we didn't hear from Jeannie Buss today. I thought we might hear from Jeannie Buss. But there were a number of celebrities, people that Kobe knew, people that were invited to the ceremony that were in attendance today, that took the time.
Yeah, it truly was the who's who of basketball and legends.
Magic Johnson there. As you continue to look at the people, all invited guests, all wanted to be here today. James Harden.
Steph Curry was there as well.
Jennifer Lopez is there.
Phil Jackson.
Byron Scott, Kobe's coach, former teammate and a good
There's
friend.
Phil Jackson right there. And you know, for the first time, there's Steph Curry. We saw Kobe's parents.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kobe's parents were there today. You know, they had a falling out. There had been some distance.
But they had reconciled all of that once the girls were born.
My most treasured gifts. He just thought outside the box.
Some of the people that were there today to honor Kobe,
He was thoughtful and
to celebrate his life.
Once again, I can't say it enough. I was so struck by Michael Jordan. He really was a mentor for Kobe, and you think about it, they were competitors, but he treated him like his younger brother. He talked about, you know, how he was aggravating at time when he would text early in the morning, but that he was so passionate, and that's the appreciation that Michael Jordan had for what Kobe brought to the game, his passion. And now so many more people will bring that passion to women's basketball.
Well, remember this, that Michael Jordan, you could argue, the greatest of all time. It's not a conversation we'll have today. But Kobe Bryant grew up idolizing Michael Jordan. And there was one thing that Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan shared, and that was earning someone respect. So when Kobe was younger, being so annoying, and continuing to be persistent in conversations with Michael, asking him questions, he was earning his respect.
You know what? I'm going to interrupt you for a second. Michael Brownlee just stepped in.
Come on, just come in, Michael. We got about a minute till off here.
Okay.
And you were inside.
Yes, I was. The vibe. Essentially, what happened, what you saw on television was magnified by 1,000 inside. I mean, everyone was at attention whenever a speaker hit the podium there, especially Vanessa Bryant. It was unexpected. I didn't expect it. Standing ovation when she hit the podium. And you talk about trying to keep those tears back. It was evident.
About even out here, it was not a dry eye.
To see the montage, to hear her talk about her soulmate, to hear her talk about her baby girl, unbelievable.
All right, well, I know we'll all be back beginning at 4 on the NBC4 News. It has been quite an emotional day.
Yes, it has been.
You were fortunate enough to be inside and witness it. We'll look forward to your thoughts on the news at 4. Colleen, it has been a pleasure.
It has. We're going to, you were in there with Mario Solis as well, so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the basketball legends who are inside, as well as the emotional part and some of the speakers. We will see you at 4, 5, and 6. We're going to leave you with the sound of Kobe Bryant.
In the darkest night hour, in the darkest night hour, search through the crowd, this is all that I see. I'm gonna give you everything, baby, love me like sound.
Everywhere you go, you see his face, his number. Gigi's face, Gigi's number. Everywhere, at every intersection. The best thing I think I was able to come up with is this: gratitude. It seems to me that all we can do is be grateful for the time we had with them and for the time we have left with each other. And that's all.
Baby, I can see your halo. Pray you won't fade away.
Mommy, Natalia, Bianca, Capri, and Daddy love you so much, Gigi. She gave the best hugs and the best kisses. She had gorgeous soft lips like her daddy. And she would hug me and hold me so tight. I could feel her love me. I loved the way she looked up at me while hugging me. It was as if she was soaking me all in. I miss you, all of you, every day. I love you. But I want my daughters to know and remember the amazing person, husband, and father he was. The kind of man that wanted to teach the future generations to be better and keep them from making his own mistakes. God knew they couldn't be on this earth without each other. He had to bring them home to heaven together. Babe, you take care of our Gigi. And I got Nani, Bibi, and Coco. We're still the best team. We love and miss you, Boo Boo and Gigi.